Good evening, and welcome to the Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference. My name is Frank Allen, and I will be your host for the evening. Okay, we're off. It looks like we have 14 people here so far. We're going to move the call up to 7 p.m. So we're going to move it ahead from 6 to 7 because people just aren't in the mood at 6 p.m. I don't know why. That's the time that everybody wanted. But that's what we'll do. It just makes it easier for everyone. And how is everyone this evening?
New videos every day.
Okay, I guess the first thing I'd like to ask you is, how did you like Zoe Sophia? Her videos came out in like the early part of the 21st century. And she has a lot of interesting points. And if you'd like to further see her or visit her movies, it's very easy, and I'll show you how. Just go to Targeted Massachusetts. Let me start on the main screen. And just click on Mind Control with Zoe Sophia. And there are 6 of her videos right there that you can play, save, download if you have the capability with YouTube. And they're yours to keep. But she is very good. And she lost her channel to a fitness group that was originally part of her mind control group. So she left. If you'd like to sign up for our newsletter, this is the home page. It comes up automatically. Just put in your email and just hit Receive Newsletter. And that's all there is to it. Okay, I'm going to get out of screen sharing here. Okay, is there anything you guys would like to discuss tonight? Yeah, beautiful day. Sophia is... She has a lot of videos. I'm digging them all up. I used to have them posted on our old site before it was destroyed. And we had 2 sites that actually were destroyed. And the Allen Institute site was destroyed, and Targeted Massachusetts. And this is through conflict with Network Solutions. They refused to release our backups, and that was it. But while we're here, I would just like to share some attributes. Now, the last thing that we posted was this week, and it is the fact that Florida prepares to ban airplane chemtrails. And they have to pay a $100,000 fine for blocking the sun in the Sunshine State. So that's something new. And we have a lot of content gradually appearing on the site. We have documents, patents, victim impact statements, a way to listen to TM broadcasting radio. And we have, if you'd like to join in, how to join in. And we do have a few videos up. And we have Quantum Theology by Sue Meyer. And we have everything about the conference call if you'd like to join in. And a simple image of what is Havana syndrome. See if it compares with what is happening with you. Hi, Sharon, Chicago, Illinois. The two blank spots, and I assume somebody is there.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well. The same.
That's good. Well,
Same as always. Super attacks, no sleep, all that nonsense that they do. There's nothing in my day that doesn't get perused by these people or discussed about by these people or anything. I was wondering a couple things. If any TIs during their day or at night, whichever, do you feel as they're running these dues on you, do you feel your, body blow up, so to speak? Like expand? Do you feel like you've, in the stomach area, the thigh area, any area really? I mean, your hands, even your feet? Because that's what I'm noticing, and they're getting very sarcastic about their abilities to do that. I believe it was last week or one of the weeks we talked about people getting the frequencies to the ears. One thing I wanted to tell you to notice about that if you want to. For me, I get a more often higher frequency and changes in pitching in my right ear. And one day I went and stood before a mirror. And I held my hair up to look at the ear and then compare it to the other ear. And it was markedly, my right ear now, when they're doing all this pitching, is markedly larger than the other ear. But, they seem to be able to enlarge our bodies and everything else and even add, weight onto it. But I wondered how everybody else, is doing in that realm. And then I have a two-part question. The other part I was wondering about was, do any of you at any time of the day or night, I get mine in the 3 o'clock hour, the a.m. hour, like they all talk, but do any of you at any point in time in your day ever feel as though they're drugging you? Could be that hypnotech type stuff that they do, but as though you're actually drugged. I don't sleep. They won't let me sleep, but I lay in the bed, to rest anyway, but I get that feeling. And I wondered if anybody else did. I believe for me it comes in intranasal. I call it intranasal drug induction. And what they do, literally, when your nose runs, it runs. And they can say, oh, make her nose run, or make her nose bleed, this and that. And then, ultimately it does. But when they do this, intranasal drugging type interference on me, it's actually it would be as if you took a nasal spray and squirted it up in your nostrils. It's and we all know noses don't squirt. So I just wanted to reflect on that and have anybody else reflect on it too. But that's how it's happening for me. And I know my nose doesn't squirt, so I've had feelings. I do not do any kind of medication or drugs. So, you kind of know when somebody's messing with you. I'm getting a lot of chest dues where I have hard times breathing at certain points in the day and that. But so I'll mute and see what everybody else comes up with.
Okay, thank you very much. Sheila, do you have anything that compares to what Sharon has just brought up?
Yes. Sometimes I feel like I've said this to my daughter off and on, like I'm drugged, like I'm almost kind of drunk. You know, I don't drink, you know. It's like I'm drugged. And then I have mentioned about the chemicals that's happened on the outside, and at night I wake up and I mean there's no saliva in my mouth. It's so dry it's like sandpaper. That happens every night. So I have to drink a lot. I've been drinking a lot in the daytime now where I didn't used to. I do now. I'm going to drink a glass of water, as a matter of fact. There's a lot of different things that are going on. You don't even want to mention it to anybody, you know. Well, you don't, you know, but. And the sleep, definitely, this is like a clock. It's got to be the computer, because if I go to bed at 10, I will be woke up at 12. If I go to bed at 12, I'll be woke up at 2. But I'm woke up all night long after a certain time. I'm woke up all night long. Every night. It's causing, I do believe it's causing brain damage. I didn't have any trouble with my thinking or any of these things. I could talk, and it gets where I can't even get my sentences right sometimes. Not like someone with dementia, but somebody that, you know, having their brain tapped is what I call it. Tapping your brain. And there's many different things, that's all. Just trying to turn it positive, as negative as this is. I've been trying to look at it differently, and that helps. I pray a lot. I pray all the time, but trying to get your psyche where you're not thinking about, well, this is happening. Don't think about that. I don't think about that. I go, no, I'm doing this. We're not doing this. I'm doing this. And that's what I do. And I'm always busy, non-stop. And sometimes I get hit so hard, and I tell myself, their day will come. And I just try to keep going on until sometimes they make me really sick, suddenly sick, where I can't participate in anything at all. But, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, can you explain your sleep deprivation? Now, it happens to me every 3 days, we'll say.
Okay.
And I think that when you get put to sleep, I think it's because they need sleep. So, and I think they keep you awake because they don't have anything to do. And that's the honest to God truth, because
I believe that.
It's my opinion that they are addicted gamers. I've always said this.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
A lot of people say that there are shifts, but I disagree with that. I believe that they sleep when you sleep and they're awake when you're awake. And there are usually 1 to 2 of them, and they can change their voices with digital sampling, voice digital sampling. or digitally sampled voice, as it's referred to. And they can do that, and they do it all the time. They'll say, okay, well, there's a shift change coming up. And, they were really drunk one time, and I heard that they just changed the voice right there, bang, in like half a second. There was another voice. So
That's funny.
that's an
Yeah.
opinion. When I have something that's fact, I will follow the statement with "this is fact" or preface the statement. But that is an opinion, and maybe the opinion is shared. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. And again, for those of you who just came in, we are going to move our time to 7 p.m. versus 6 p.m. because people are, I guess, eating. I mean, we do. It's 6, 6, 5 or 6. And some people eat a little later.
4. Okay, 4 o'clock.
So we're gonna try 7. See if that works better for everyone.
4 o'clock. Okay. You're right about something, and you're right about a lot of things, but the thing is that I do believe when these people are busy, that's when they mess you up because they're doing stuff. And then around the end of the month, the beginning of the month, they do all kinds of stuff because they're busy. That's what I think, and they need to keep you occupied. And they don't want you going somewhere if they can't have their team or whatever it is. I don't even want to go there.
Well,
Ready to go.
They are very familiar with your home. Very
yes.
familiar. So when you go out somewhere, they might possibly lose the strength of their signal to you. That's a possibility. I'm not sure of that.
Oh, lose the strength?
Yeah, the signal strength. It's going to be very strong
Uh-huh.
when you're home because
Yeah.
they know the place. And if there is, in fact, any type of satellite technology being used, they can focus. Now,
There is satellite because every day at a certain time between I think it's 3:30 and 5:30, it's the satellite. You can feel it. What happens? It gives you massive migraines and everything. I've been real careful off and on trying to change some of whatever. I have to do my dinner early enough or I'm not going to eat. I forgot what I was going to say. Well, you go ahead, Frank.
Well, I'd just like to bring up what Beautiful Day is posted in the chat. And this looks like she has posted it from experience, possibly as a nurse or doctor. But she says CSF leakage from a skull fracture can cause dripping from the nose called rhinorrhea, as well as leakage from ear or swelling of the eustachian tubes in the neck, and blood spots or bruising behind ear. I guess they're called battle signs. And impact wounds via physical assault, electrical or something blast can cause these symptoms. Even the aphasia and insomnia can be caused by these weapons and by fists or head impacted by walls, etc. Now, I don't get any of the last two, because this is something that is done from a distance. And she says, the above is what many of the perpetrators do to me routinely. And edema and body pain for a month or more afterwards, too. It's hell, she says. And it is. The edema, I would say, is caused by dehydration. You don't realize it, but they can actually try and control what you eat and what you drink and how much. If any of you are putting on some weight and you can't figure it out, hypnotism is a very interesting topic. And we've had at least 2 guests that are master hypnotists. And what all they do is they keep impressing on your subconscious mind that you're hungry. And they keep at it and keep at it and keep at it until you have something to eat. Now, myself, if I have too much to eat, I want to sleep. I don't know why. I was never that way before. And I don't know if any of you go through that, but it's almost Thanksgiving, because everybody knows that when we have turkey, we're going right to sleep because of the tryptophan. But it's something similar to that. I would put it right on Thanksgiving and the tryptophan. Any comments? Okay. It's great to see you too, Alan. And it's wonderful to speak with you all. It helps me as much as it helps you. And it's great to be here. And we'll always be here somewhere, either on the radio or on a conference call, and we'll always be here for you. And something that some people don't realize is that you can get us 24 hours a day by calling 518-801-1318. And you have to wait sometimes a minute or so, and then you'll be directly connected. I'm going to upload a recording, I think, that will chop up that time. The system wants to say that we are offline, and we are not. We are current with everyone. There's no reason for us to be offline. So that's what they told me to do. So I'm going to upload a recording, and that should kill that problem. But if you use the link or a phone number, there are a few links, you have to wait probably sometimes 20 seconds or so before it finally connects. Now, why that is, I'm like I said, I think the recording will clean that up.
Hello, Frank.
Yes, go ahead, Victoria.
Yes, hello, my dear Frank. Nice to hear you. Thank you very much for your call. And I have missed some calls because I had been in torture. and it was really painful, and I needed to have rest and just to lie down in my bed, but it's okay. Yes, now I'm, for example, right now my perpetrators do nothing to me. It's very important, and I'm happy to hear you again. And thank you for your videos with Zoe Sophie. Very informative. How are you, Frank?
I'm doing okay. And for those of you who
Oh,
don't know Victoria, this is Victoria Popova from Russia. So whenever I look over details of email that goes out, we always have at least one from Russia.
okay, thank you, my dear Frank. I'm here listening to you, okay? I'm here.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, Victoria has a lot of moxie because she is within the government of Russia. She's in the country, that rather. And I think she's doing this at great risk. But that's an opinion, too. She'll have to talk on that. Okay, would anybody else like to comment? We have Lorraine, we have Chicago, Illinois, we have Harrington. Alan, if you'd like to make a comment, that would be great. And we have Anonymous, and we have something I'm not used to seeing. 2 spots, and there's nobody there. That's pretty good. I know how they do it. And we have Stephen, our board member from the UK, and he's also the UK project manager for the Allen Institute. And one of these nights we should be able to get Allison on here. She is our other UK manager, project manager. And she is also board member for...
Will eventually, Frank.
Yeah, I hope so. She is also, and Stephen as well, they're board members for ECATR. If you get our newsletter, you will get continual updates on what is going on with ECATR. I know that it looks like they are not working with us, but I can explain that, and it's simply because they've been embroiled in internal affairs, and they're getting back on the ball once again. So you should start seeing some Zoom calls as soon as I hear of them. I will definitely post them in the newsletter. But once again, it's great to be here, and it's great to be with you guys.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Shirley Andre. I am from Boston, Massachusetts.
Very good.
This is my Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes.
This is my first time on this call. I've attended a couple of TI's meetings. I was able to get this information from one of the TIs about Targeted Massachusetts, and I was able to join in today. I'm just curious to ask, are you in Massachusetts yourself, or?
Yes.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Do you actually? I get targeted. I get DEWs like all over my body. do not have V2K. However, I have a young child. My child she's 8 years old, and she does have the V2K. Um, I'm just curious to know if any other TIs in the Boston area by any chance. I've never come across any targeted person, around my area. So I'm just curious to find out if anyone's in my city by any chance.
Okay, I would just like to update you. There are upwards of 100 TIs at least in the state of Massachusetts, and that would continue into Rhode Island and to Connecticut. So the Northeast is we have a lot of TIs up here.
Okay, okay. Oh, it's good to know because sometimes you all alone, like a lot of TIs that meeting that I've attended, they're out of state, but it seems like sometimes they get together, they can group up for rallies and stuff like that. So, and that's why I was asking. I was just curious to know if you guys do anything like that. Um,
Well,
with targeted Massachusetts or
we've been to Washington twice.
okay, Washington.
Once on our own and once with Targeted Justice.
Oh,
And
oh,
we have had meetings, and it was hard to organize because we have people in one section of Massachusetts, and we have people in the north and north of Boston, the North Shore. And
sure. Okay. Okay.
so what happens is we'll have a meeting, and we had one in Arlington, and we've had one out near Sturbridge, and we're trying to get everybody, but the problem was they won't drive. Nobody wants to do the driving.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Okay. And also do any of the TIs in Mass has any implants? I've come across I don't know if there's a scanning going on or that you can get your implants scanned and get a report and video to prove that that you are actually been implanted illegally and are being targeted. So are you aware of the implants and this the scannings some
Yes.
places they okay.
Yes,
Do
that
they
would
have
be.
any place in Massachusetts that do any of the scanning?
Well, the only person I know of at this point in time is Amy Holm. And I don't know whether that's the person that you have gone to or not.
Oh no, I have not. I don't have any scans. I have not actually get my body scanned.
Okay.
I'm curious, like if there's anyone in Massachusetts. Same
Okay. If you, this is what you need to do, you need to write me at frank@aihr.foundation and tell me what section of town you live in, and I will connect you with Amy Holm.
Oh, great. Can you repeat that again? Because I did not have any pen in that at hand at the time of you giving me the information. Can you just repeat that again, please?
Sure. It's Frank at
Yes.
AIHR.foundation, just like it sounds.
Okay.
Foundation.
Foundation. Okay. Thank you. Amy Holman. Amy Holman. And also, I'm curious to find out of Savannah syndrome.
Okay.
So, do you know anyone that actually any doctors in Massachusetts that you can do an evaluation to find out if you may have Havana or not?
Okay. It is hard to get a doctor that will diagnose you with Havana syndrome. And it's our intent to work more closely with the medical community so that we may find someone who will diagnose you and understands the symptomology.
Okay.
We already have a professional, and she lives not on the North Shore, but she lives in New Hampshire,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
she's in psychiatry, and she has seen quite a few targets, and she
Oh,
has
wow.
spoken with many because she's a target herself.
Oh, she's a targeted. Okay, that was my next question. Is she a targeted person? Okay.
And we also have a very wonderful woman. Her name is Sue Maya, and she does 20-minute spots.
20 minutes worth. Please? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
In other words, you can call up. That's on our website as well, which is targetedmassachusetts.org.
Okay.
The human rights site and the Targeted Massachusetts site are separate.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, okay. I was unaware.
Okay, name. How was? Excuse me, just one second.
No
Na-
problem.
Write in the chat how Anna Toledo's recording came out. But yes, there are many TIs in Massachusetts, and we'll start another gathering shortly.
Okay, great. I would love to attend one. A target event where I actually can really someone can actually relate to my situation with sounding crazy or people doubting you that is something that's actually going on with you.
Yes, I will. You should get on my mailing list, and when you write me, with
Yes.
your permission, I will put you on our mailing list.
Okay.
Is that through Targeted Massachusetts, Frank, or through your personal?
No, it's not my personal.
Oh, okay.
If you go to Targeted Massachusetts, that puts you on the master mailing list, and
Okay.
that particular list will get you the Sunday newsletter and any and all updates to conference call information and
Got it.
radio information.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, Shirley, you can go ahead.
Yes. No, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for the information.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a lot of great people here tonight. And people are joining as we speak. We are running, as I said, until 11 p.m. We started doing that, I think, probably last week or the week before. Because at 9 o'clock, people were piling in, and, well, they knew that we were actually closing at 9, and some of them didn't come in and stay long. So 11 o'clock, it works for me, and it works for everyone. And I think 7 to 11 will be fine. 4 hours is great. 5 it's starting to push it. And at 6 o'clock, nobody seems to be able to, or has the time to drop in at 6. So it'll be 7 to 11. Just remember the store, 7-Eleven. That's all.
Hi, Frank. This is Alan.
Hi, Alan. How you doing?
Yeah, I was glad to thank you for having your chat. I was glad to see that. Well, TJ, they had one probably a week or two ago about them going over to Washington and going to with some of the pictures of visiting the Capitol and going inside, but then to visit with some of the senators and congressmen, and it's like 140 different offices, and leaving and talking to different people about it. So that was very encouraging, and just and then there was something about the gavel with Anna Toledo, and just kind of some more information on that they were showing. So I was very glad to see that, and of course keep on whenever I get into a little stressed out. I got a ton of stuff just on my YouTube about just old stuff from Havana Syndrome, like the 60 Minutes stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, there's this stuff has definitely gotten out there, and people do know about this stuff now. So that's always encouraging to me, just knowing that people know about this stuff, and the introduction of laws and neural rights is definitely something it's already happening in some states, evidently. So that's what I think. Have you heard much new as far as like the neural rights?
There are states that are contemplating, and there are states that have already adopted legislation on the subject. And you have to think of it this way. It may be hard for some, but say we have an MIT professor, and he has Havana Syndrome or remote neural monitoring, which are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
And he has ideas about a device or something for the government. And
Right.
his mind is compromised. Now he is lost already, and it would happen to us the same way. He has lost already the monies or funds from this project that he is working on. So the skull has to be the limit. No one should be able to go beyond your skull and try and manipulate your mind, take ideas. And there are several definitions that have to be changed. Intellectual property is one of the definitions that has to be changed. It should include any and all ideas. Because, as I have said, they can make off with your ideas and sit on their backside and make money off of them. Go ahead. I think somebody was trying to cut it.
Well, I'll just say thank you, Frank, for saying that, because I've felt that for many years, how they just sit back and take people's ideas and take their research and take their, their science, either right out of their brains or right out of their computers while they're still working on it.
Right.
And we should have rights to protect our thoughts and our feelings and everything else around us. They don't have the right.
No, they don't.
No one gave them the right or the consent to just, exploit every living thing on the planet.
And that's what they do, too. They exploit everything, anything and everything. Well, while you're right here, I just wanted to draw attention to Sue Meyer's page on Targeted Massachusetts. And she has studied, gone to school, gone to college, And she has a site called Quantum Theology. And that is also, as I have said, on Targeted Massachusetts, as well as a link to her site. Now that link is right here, actually on the image that she likes. But she will do astrology charts, energy shifts, transitions, new realities, creativity, Christ and angels, animals, nature and the elements, healing, careers and soul purpose, spiritual guidance, transmission meditation, prophecy of global change. And these are just what she has listed. Some of the things that she can do, you just can't list. There aren't any words for them.
Thank you.
And she has, beginning the other day, oh, you're so welcome. Beginning the other day, she has 3 free 20-minute sessions on a first come, first served basis. And if you'd like to give her a call, her number right off her website is 575-425-0770. And these are time slots that are normally assessed at a certain dollar value. So this is something that you should take advantage of, definitely.
Thank you, Frank.
Oh,
I basically want to make that available to some of the TIs who are more spiritually oriented and who can't find help within the churches or temples or with the usual, considering that this is energy warfare and spiritual warfare. We have a unique need, and this is something that I've been working on myself for more than 20 years, so I can definitely relate to anybody who's got intuitive abilities or dreams or areas that they can't really explain, and of particular interest is the energy healing work that I've been doing, and for others by teaching them meditations or helping them move the light and darkness.
Very good. You still with us? Did we lose you?
They are also fourth dimensional biophoton attacks and biophoton theft from people's auric field. So I help people to understand what those colors mean and how to move the dark energies off of them so that they can get some relief. So thank you for sharing that and for the opportunity for anybody who's interested.
Right. You know what I should do? I should, I want to put that phone number in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just put the link to the website, which if they want to, read articles before they're, they might be shy to call me, right? So they could just read an article or look at some of the imagery that I've been working with. And lately I've been creating these mandalas on digital art, so I've been posting a few of those. They're good for meditation and focused attention. But those are on the website. Anybody can look at that.
Okay, now I don't have the link in front of me because it is within that image. And what you have to do is click on that image. And what I will do, I will add to that, right underneath it, the actual site address, the URL. That way there won't be any confusion. But if you could put it in the chat, it would be appreciated. or send it to me by
Oh,
text.
I'm just on the call.
That's
I
right.
don't have the app anymore, but I'll be happy to just spell it out for anybody. It's
Okay.
pretty simple. Well, first I could say, I mean, any information they can get from me writing to my email, which is even easier to give out, which is su808 at juno.com, Juno like the asteroid.com. And I can, make sure that you get any information that you ask. And the website is su808.wordpress.com. That's pretty simple also. So, anybody who needs a little different kind of guidance. It's not psychiatric advice. It's not medical. Just want to make that clear up front. I don't give out legal advice or anything like that either.
Okay, very good. Can you run that web address by me one more time? And I'll put that in the chat. Sue?
And just for people to know that this is my donation to the Allen Institute for Human Rights, which is a great organization with just the highest standards of ethical values for human rights, which we sorely need. And you all should go to that, look into it, maybe make a donation of your own. But my stuff is basically a donation for his work. And he really deserves to be recognized for it.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue.
There are 26 participants in the conference.
Honestly, I've never really been on these calls from Massachusetts because it's a different state. But yeah, hello.
Hi. You're welcome. This is here for everyone from all over the world, and we do have people. We have a wonderful lady from Russia who is on here tonight.
Yeah, I've been listening. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been listening, and I've been doing a lot of research about my specific targeting and other things, and it's probably not completely on the same script as what predominantly what targeted individuals are talking about. But it does have to do with why we are being targeted, and it's like, I've been doing a lot of research the last couple of days, actually the last couple of weeks, and I had a eureka moment. I just don't know. I'm thinking about trying to do like public speaking or something so I can get this out, because it is very, very important. And the lady that was just talking about human rights, it is exactly about our human rights. It's more about our DNA rights. Like, nobody has the right to use our DNA, try to manipulate it, anything like that, because this is a part of the transhumanism that they are trying to do. That is why they're dealing with like nanotechnology, why we have headaches, because we have all these electric pulses going toward us, and et cetera, et cetera. But I would like to know that that human rights agency that she was discussing earlier.
Yes.
Frank, she's asking about AIHR.
Oh, okay.
She would like
If you'd like to visit the site, it's aihr.foundation, and you can learn all about us from there. And if you have any questions, you can call me, write me. My phone number has actually been out in the community since 2014. So we've been around for a while. And all we want to do is help. I don't know, it just really is uplifting to help someone. And I really love it. Okay, I got to get.
Thank you.
I just had a text. I have to get back and shoot somebody call information. And it's actually Linda Pimenta, our psychiatrist, who is actually a TI, and she'll be joining us. So if you have any questions for her, this would be a great time to ask. She'll be with us probably in about 5-10 minutes.
I do have a question. How is somebody, especially a lot of us that are TIs that feel like we can't trust anybody, how are we, like, in a very local level? I'll just talk specifically about me. Like, it's not just that I don't trust people around me. It's that I know that they have that malicious intent. And how do you psychologically try to cope with that when you feel on guard all the time?
It's tough. It really is. The biggest thing you can do is to pray and stay busy. Don't hang around the house and just sit. You have to get out and do something. It'll make you feel better. You need the exercise, and just get out there. You have to do it.
Well, for me, they've created a really bad environment. I'm actually homeless because of what's going on, and the person that I thought was not a part of it, and he's now my boyfriend, is definitely a part of it, and I can't exactly escape him for financial reasons, but I'm still homeless. And being out in public, I'm an easy target, especially when I'm alone. Where, like, for example, I'm on the bus right now, and two particular women I almost got into a fight with because they wanted to start with the, stupid conversations, trying to act as if they know what I'm doing, where I'm going, where I work, and everything. It's a lot of hostility being out in public. But I'm in public 24/7 because of my homelessness situation. That never seems to go away.
Okay, I can understand that. That's very easy.
That's why I'm trying to understand ways to try to cope, because I'm busy all the time. I work, but I can't make enough, obviously, to get out of the situation. And every time I do make enough to get out of the situation, they make sure that I'm very quickly unemployed. So it's ridiculous how many jobs I've been through in the last 2-3 years, and I've never had the situation, because I almost have my bachelor's in physics, I have my associates, I'm a hard worker, I'm reliable, I'm on time, but they purposely create the narrative to make other people pretty much, create situations that destroy my potential to have any kind of like sustainability. So that's what I'm asking about. How can you psychologically? I am a fighter, but it's really exhausting sometimes, and those weak moments are what I'm asking about.
Okay, that's great. We need fighters, because if you just lay there, it will not do you any good. Most people, it is known, can be isolated within 15 minutes time. I didn't realize this. Now, that's not everyone, but some people can be isolated or feel isolated within 15 minutes.
Well, what do you mean exactly about feeling isolated?
To feel alone, to feel by yourself, to feel vulnerable. Put all of those together and you have isolation.
Do you mean via some kind of electromagnetic inducements inside the brain, or do you mean via influencing the social circle within 15 minutes?
Okay, I would say influence within the social circle, and most people that this happens to are people that are social animals, and they have to be around other people. So even when they're home for the day and they put the TV on, and we'll say the cable goes out, they don't have the internet to rely on. They don't have television to rely on. They turn on the stereo, but you can be physically isolated within 15 minutes. And that is in the true sense of the world. The only thing I can compare it to is if you've watched a lot of TV or movies, you'll see convicts that are put in isolation for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, and they come out of there nuts. So that's just a different way of putting it.
Well, I have to be honest. I like my solitude. I've always
Yes.
been pretty antisocial. I think they targeted me more for a concept of black market things, that they could sell. And I do believe that initially they were attempting to try to traffic me, but I'm just not stupid enough to get myself into those situations. But and since they can't do that, they just continue with the rumors to destroy financial reputation and everything. But no, I can see what you're saying, because that's why I do appreciate these conference calls, because it does give me the ability to not have to be on guard when I talk, and not feel like when I do give information like a normal person would, that it's going to be used against me. So I can see how that does help, like on a social level, because it does make me feel better to be able to talk to people like that.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I think Linda is with us. Let me see. I don't see her. Well, Linda P. left the meeting. I think she is going to get on with her computer, which is a lot easier. But that's one of the reasons why we stick with free conference call, because we have a lot of people, and the only way that they can get to us is by phone. And free conference call offers both a VoIP phone or digital phone and a link to get in. And we don't mute people here. We don't dump people out of here unless they come in and they are totally inebriated. Or if somebody's snoring, they might get muted, but that's about it. Okay, let me look for Linda. I think she did. Yep, she did. Hi, Linda. You were unmuted. Whoop, she left the meeting. She must have got bumped out. Hi, Nikki. Oh, welcome, MOI@justice.com. Okay, I'm waiting for Linda to come back in. And we have Victoria Popova from Russia. That's a long distance call, boy. If you had to pay for that one, it would kill you. It would kill me too. But fortunately, free conference call uses VoIP. So, I'm going to text Linda. She's having trouble getting. Oh, she's here. Great. Linda, you want to? I will introduce you. This is Dr. Linda Pimenta, and she has been a counselor for the community, much in the same fashion as Sumaya, only in different areas. And Linda, if you'd like to speak up, go right ahead. You are unmuted as well. I hear tapping. Maybe it's Morse code. Wait a minute. Okay, while we're waiting for Linda to get squared away, would anybody like to share anything? It doesn't matter what it is. As I've said many, many times, all you need to do is bring one simple piece of the puzzle with you, and somebody has the rest of the puzzle. It's as easy as that. This is all about information technology. And we are fortunate enough to have it. TIs in prior years in the last century weren't quite as fortunate.
I actually have a question.
Go right ahead.
And this is stemming from what the lady 5 minutes ago said about just her constantly being sabotaged socially and financially. What I'm about to ask, really, this is more of a question, both to that lady or to anyone on the call. Basically, how do I put it? It's often said, change your mood, change your approach, try to ignore the negativity in one's environment, and that supposedly, that will make everything better, kind of thing, right? Now, indeed, I'm sure a lot of times that is said flippantly and kind of in a new age fashion that is, lots of aiming for positivity without actual critical thinking. However, in this program, if a lot of what is the system is interested in, and a lot of what happens is basically a reaction to a person's thoughts, then there may still be something to that, even if not to such a simplistic way that is often said in the New Age circles. Now, here's what I'm basically asking. I just wonder if it's worthwhile to just experiment and to kind of probe the system to see if the system starts working or behaving differently in response to one's different in their internal dialogue or thoughts or whatever, in their mental state.
I would say definitely yes. And I'll tell you what you were trying to get, and that is a positive attitude. And relative to that, a good mood. It is possible. The positive attitude is something that you can wake up with. As I've said many times, if you get up and say, it's going to be a great day today, it will be. If you say this is going to be a real crappy day or whatever, it will be. It's all
So
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying even further to that. some of the things that I came across as part of my general research. Obviously, I don't know how accurate it is, but something tells me there's something to it. Is that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just sort of just. Okay, there we go. Is that? Sorry, I'm trying to get my train of thought.
Take your time. You've got the whole night.
Oh yeah. Oh, so when someone is in a negative state of mind, they're actually more easily influenced, especially subliminally.
Yes, most definitely.
And the subliminals can come. I mean, there's the classic case of just talking to a hypnotist or somebody well versed in hypnotism, and then they just somehow subliminally affect you. But in this program that many of us are in, we're talking about subliminals coming in through some kind of ultrasound or electromagnetic influence that sometimes is not even consciously registered because it's not something that's within the audible spectrum. But it can still hits our brains, and therein, and that could be done because it's so automated. It could be done almost like psychic driving, a la MK Ultra, with those patients from the 60s and 70s where they would put them to sleep for a week and just constantly replace them, kind of psychic driving, right? So that is possible now, and it doesn't even require any kind of, nurses or handlers. It's to be done just automatically, constantly. So something tells me that part of why people are constantly being induced to be in a negative state of mind is that it's in order to make the person's the people more susceptible towards being influenced by subliminal driving, amongst other reasons.
Very good.
That negativity can be induced whether it's through gang stalking, whether it is through V2K, constantly saying all kinds of negative stuff and stuff like that. Right?
Yes.
And so therefore, if what I just described has some accuracy to it, and if it is a big portion of why people are constantly being in this negative state of mind, now of course that's not the only reason, because also one of the reasons to make someone financially destitute is to prevent them from having the financial resources to be independent and to have all kinds of time on their hands to research stuff and enlighten other TIs, right?
Right. Can I interject
So I'm not
something?
saying it's only about, negativity for influence purposes, but that is a big part of it.
Good. I want to interject something. Personal health, we have to put first, okay? Because they will try and wear you down with sleep deprivation. They will try and wear you down by dehydrating you. Now, most of this is all done through hypnotism, subliminally. And they will even do it sometimes through V2K. They will try and repeat things over and over and over again. Hypnotism is repetition. The habits you have all day long are repetition. They follow every move you make and note it. So,
yes.
What they are breeding is contempt. And this is how they can stay angry all the time at you. Because some of the stuff is so ridiculous that if you're in the right frame of mind, you'll just laugh. And I think some TIs here will share that. But you have to take care of the temple, and that's the body. You have to keep yourself in line.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Physical health is related to mental health and vice versa, right?
Correct.
So one helps the other, and the other helps to maintain the one. So I completely agree. But anyway, all of my, everything that I just described and set up is basically to ask the question here. Has anyone been able to substantially change how the system interacts with them whether it is through gang stalkers or B2K or whatnot, by simply consciously changing one state of mind.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, like, I wonder how often that works. And therefore, the lady who was talking about being so targeted all over the place, I wonder if she ever tried, or if it's worth it to just as an experiment, barring other options, right? To try to, through meditation, through whatever, to get oneself into a different state of mind. Like for realsies, like not just a little bit, and not just through sprinkling of some herbs and spices. I mean, like for real, like a real effort to not be bothered by the negativity around, and see if after a while the system just starts dissipating and gives up on harassment. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to work at all, and I'm not trying to make light or to diminish the severity of her situation. I think a lot of people, it's easy for them to just blame the victim.
I could tell you
say, well,
that
you got to change your
there
mindset, vibration, and all that stuff. But I just think that barring other, if nothing else works, it might be something to try and see if that somehow changes things. Not because of some metaphysics, which may still be true, but because if the system works off of your thoughts and off of your remote neural monitoring, then maybe therein lies one of the control things that you still have. Right? In terms of how the system sees you and how the system thinks that you are influenceable.
Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think that Sue
Okay.
was Sue Meyer trying to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to say there have been a few TIs over the years that have been able to exit the system. But I'm not sure that the reasons that they think they were released is accurate. I think in some cases there were situations where their perps were feeling threatened in some way and backed off. Not that the targeting stopped, but it would become less obvious. But I don't think the reasons are like they just had positive thinking, or they, like in one case, a guy moved from Canada over to near Fort Meade, Maryland, and he did a lot of activism on Ellis calls. Well, he says he got out, right? He wasn't targeted anymore, but he thinks it's because he left Canada. Well, going back to what you were saying, could it be about your thoughts, or could it be that somehow they felt that him living right near the NSA was somehow a threat to national intelligence, since he was originally a Canadian citizen? I mean, there are a lot of different aspects in his mind, in his belief, is because of this. In several other cases, there was a lady in Oklahoma who said, well, she just had positive thinking, but she was actually working on some frequency diagrams which she didn't share with the TI community. And at some point they stopped hitting her very hard, but probably continued intellectual property collection and data collection off her computers. So, what people believe about it can actually be customized versus the truth behind why their targeting ended. But just, a caveat on that, there was only a few people in our community who reported that their targeting had changed or stopped.
Okay, thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
Do you have any more questions, sir?
Oh, no,
there was another lady who was...
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, there was another lady who was trying to speak also.
Yes, this is...
that was
that
me,
was my
Frank.
question.
That's Dr. Linda Pimento.
But I want to piggyback. I want to piggyback if I could, though. Okay, so things that you can do to change your targeting is, keep in mind, they are reading the response to your brain. So they're monitoring your brain the whole time. And anger presents in one way, joy presents another way, pleasure, like sexual pleasure, or if you have addiction, that will present in certain ways. So they're watching this. So they're doing what they're doing and looking to see what they're getting for a response. So if you raise your vibration with positive thinking, keeping yourself healthy, and not allowing what they're doing to you to affect you negatively, they're not going to read the responses that they want to get from you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I just wanted to add
it makes
in.
sense.
Hmm?
What I'm not clear about is, as long as they're getting a consistent response, why would they prefer a negative response over a positive one? Like, I know I've read I've read around that the negative response is more preferable because that makes a person more susceptible towards influence. But I'm wondering if there's some other reason for it.
So you're right. I mean, they're looking for any response really, because there are some places where they're causing the person to have spontaneous orgasms and things like that, or maybe to crave or get pleasure from certain things that they normally wouldn't. So I mean, they could be just looking to see how your brain or that person's brain responds. There are certain pathways in the brain, but of course we are all individuals, so we're not a perfect roadmap. So they could be just looking at how you're responding to different things, and maybe they are looking for pleasure from something.
Right.
But just
so you're saying that they're looking for patterns in general.
Yes, they're looking on how do you when I push this button and it makes your arm flail, or it makes your right eye twitch. What do they get from a response? Do you get angry? Do you get upset? Do you get scared? So that all shows they can see that. So if you can train yourself to not respond emotionally to that, they get nothing, right? That's one way that you're not giving them the feedback that they want.
Well, so people who report having V2K, for example, because V2K is like actual words, like with actual meaning. It's not just like some kind of high-pitched sound or something, right? So V2K, reported V2K. I don't think I've ever heard of V2K being of the positive nature, where the V2K voice says, "You are so great. You are so smart. You will achieve a lot. You are so brilliant." Right? Like that's almost never the case. It's always some kind of really sadistic content, and oftentimes mimicking loved ones that is perpetrated, right? If the idea was to just get a pattern, in order to establish entrainment, then the stimulus doesn't have to be always negative. It could be like any stimulus, right? It could be any stimulus that generates a response. But the great majority, like 90+% of all the reports, says specifically that it's negative. The touching,
Right.
the physical stimulus also tends to be negative. It includes pain. It includes sleep deprivation. Even when someone is sexually stimulated, oftentimes it will happen like in the middle of a bus ride or in the middle of driving, like at a time where it's like the worst time to have it. So even that kind of stimulus, should not really be treated as a positive one as well, right?
True.
So that's what I'm saying.
True.
Like the only thing that I've been able to gather is that the reason these stimuli are negative is because negativity makes a person more susceptible towards influence and control. The implication is that if the human race was different, if we as humans, were more susceptible to control just through positive stimulus, then the implication would be that a lot of this V2K would just constantly fluffing everyone up with positivity. You know, and the
I've
reason
never
I'm
heard of
bringing all
any
this stuff up,
V2K being positive.
exactly, right? So the so there are two things that I've kind of I mean, I already asked it, so I'm just repeating myself, but it's like well, is it really just in order to be able to like make someone more influenceable? And if that's the case, can we use that knowledge in order to somehow like rig the system and so that it doesn't just continue bombarding us with negativity? Just keeping one in a positive state of mind kind of gives less incentive for the system to continue the harassment.
Can I interject something here?
Yeah.
It's my knowledge that things that I've learned at a young age, that if you are in a given situation and you have the right attitude, if you have a positive attitude, this will be sent down to your subconscious. And the next time you run into the same situation, what you sent down will come back up with it. So that's one part. And the next part is they use the blowfish scenario on people. They use it on me. They'll try and pump you up and, well, you did this and you did that. And they're supposed to be in the background so you can't hear, but obviously you hear it anyway. So, and then they will either drop that after you've figured it out, or they will just turn 180 degrees and start attacking with the negative once again.
And so I'm wondering, and I know I've been talking a lot, so forgive me. I'm wondering if anyone has been able to make substantial progress in their targeting using the approaches we just discussed, like
Yes.
through positive, purposeful, positive change in their mentality.
Yes, I have.
So you have,
I have
you
too.
from your own personal experience?
Yes. My own personal experience, and October the 15th of this year will be 14 years. Yeah,
But the key is with this positive, by the positivity, you're raising a vibration, which is making you stronger, which is making you see. Their goal is not to pump you up; it's to manipulate you into doing things that you normally would not do. Right? They want you in the psychiatric hospital. They want you on medication. They want you homeless without a job, so that they can continue to torture you or harass you. So, I mean, they don't want anything good with us. So the V2K, I mean, they're just going to harass you, try to break down, to break you, like they do, like brainwashing. And so, and that's why I had talked another time about, yes, you have to not respond. I have figured out pretty quickly to not be fearful at all, and but also to not get angry, and that is a very hard thing to do because of what they're doing. But if you have anger, then it's like, okay, they'll do it again, right? Because they want you to be angry, because they want you to pop off.
That's right.
And then they can say, see, whatever lie they told about you, it's like, see, they are like this. Look, see what they just did? See what they just said?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I
It's
think
all
some of the
manipulation.
negativity, especially when you're out in public, some of that negative, gang stalking and street theater, it's also done in order to make you act and do something rash, so that there could be a record created of, antisocial behavior in order to discredit you or to get you in trouble, kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean that's
Right.
also that also makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very
I
much.
have another way to look at it.
Go ahead, Sue.
Yep.
You know, everything is frequency, right? We know this. We also know that our thoughts can change frequencies. Okay, I agree with all of that. But consider the possibility that the reason they repeat so many negative actions and words is because they can't break out of the level of frequency that they're at. That's who they are. That's the level that they think and feel on. That's why they all became criminals and pedophiles and trying to destroy people's lives, because they can't break out of who they are and what they've been trained to do. That's why it's so foreign to us, because they're trying to bring us down to their level of energy. They are working hard as heck to make us at the same level as they are, because they couldn't possibly understand a higher realm of ethics, morality, consciousness, compassion, mercy, revelation. They cannot get there. That's what I see, and that's how I think about their repetitions, their constant repetitions, like they're addicted to their own negative world and they can't get out.
You've got it. That's great. Thank you, Sue.
And
Thank you.
you know, so some of that negativity in that negative world is could be. Remember, these perps, they're being controlled as well, so they're research subjects as well, and they're victims as well. So I mean, we don't know who they were before they became a perp.
Okay, I'd like to add that throughout the years, I have learned that most of these perpetrators are either shut-ins, old and retired, with perhaps the loss of both legs. They don't have anything to relate to. We'll say they're all alone with no family. So they don't have anything to relate to but something bad. So they relate to it. And they take out their, I don't know, we'll call it their unlucky field of events. They take it out on us. And they want to live their lives through us. That's my comment. Go right ahead. Go ahead, Linda.
No, that wasn't me. Somebody else was trying to say something. So, so you're talking about, so these perps, they're the ones that do the V2K, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But, you know, keep in mind, like in society in general, people think everybody is the way that they are. So if they're a negative loser without education, right, they think that everybody is a negative. Well, I mean, they think everybody is like they are and everybody thinks like they are because they can't believe that they're the abnormal one, right? Because that would mean acceptance of the fact that, you know, they're not, that they're bad people. So when they're told lies about you, it's easy for them to hate you. It's wrong. It's very hateful and wrong.
Yes, it is. They try and find that one little spot that will hopefully take you down a notch or two or three or altogether. But that's what they're looking for the whole time. What bothers you the most? And that's what they work on. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, a win for them is for you committing suicide or, in a psychiatric hospital and being completely discredited. That's a win for them.
Agreed. That's what they want. They want you walking down the street with holes in your shoes, holes in your pockets, no shower, no shave. So they can follow you and further discredit you to the point that Linda brought up until you commit suicide. But many people can't do that and would never do that because your life is God-given and it was given to you, not to them. Go ahead. I'm going to make another pot of coffee. I'll be right back. Oh, before I do, Linda, I wanted you to join on here because we had a series of videos by Zoe Sophia, and that was the beginning of the 21st century. And she has a very different way of teaching or representing psychology. And she is very good for the TIs to listen to. I used to get nothing but great comments. I had them all up on our old website. They are once again on our new website, as I promised that I would do. So go up there and you'll see Zoe Sophia in the navigation. If you click on that, you'll get 6 of her videos. I'm after the rest of them. So, Linda,
I'll
if
have
you...
to look into those.
Yes, oh, definitely. I wanted you to join in because you are a professional and you are familiar with how the medical community operates, and you were a victim of it yourself. And I wanted to give the floor to you as a guest speaker. And I was hoping that you could. I didn't. Well, if you don't, I'll understand. Put it that way.
What did you want me to talk about? Because I didn't prepare anything, but you know me, I can talk. I can talk on certain things without any preparation.
Just say whatever you think would apply, and you'll be safe.
Okay. So I think the biggest thing for targeted individuals to do is to know what this program is. We have the gang stalking training manual loaded up on, I think it's on your site, Frank. It used to be on your site, but that's readily available. It's also, if you put it on YouTube, it's in 3 sessions. You can listen to it, part 1, part 2, and part 3. And I think it's like 10 minutes on each part. And it explains what the training manual is. And so this is what the perks are being taught. And this is how the program is being run for some individuals. Not all, because I don't think the training manual talks about V2K. I think that precedes V2K. But anyways, read the training manual because you're going to get some insight on who these clowns are and what their goals are and how they're going to try to accomplish some of these dirty deeds that they're going to do. And, you know, it's corrupt from the very top, because what they do is they go and they get seemingly normal people, right? And then they get them to, they bring them in slowly. They might have them first just be a stalker and reporting things, you know, okay, they came home at such and such a time. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Somebody said something. I didn't hear what you said. But anyways, as much as they try to desensitize the target, they're desensitizing the perps. So they're bringing them in little by little. And with that sick manipulation, they're getting the low-level perps to do all their dirty work. So that when it comes to culpability, they can put the hands up in the air and say, I never did a thing. I never did this. I never did that. You know, thinking that they're going to be able to get away with it. But we know that anybody that has anything to do with this program is committing treason, because you're doing this against American citizens on American soil. So any country, if they're doing it, if their government is doing it on them, it's treason. And treason is to be punishable by death. So I don't know if you want me to talk about coping mechanisms.
Well, coping mechanisms would actually be a great topic, because when and if a perp lands a strike on a TI, the TI has to know how to cope with it. So coping abilities would probably be a great topic.
Okay. So, and depending on what it is that they're doing to you. So a lot of the stuff that they're doing, if it's like that vibration, that is, there's electricity in that. And so just knowing things that repel electricity, wood, leather, glass, water, and that's why you hear over and over and over again, take a bath every day, take 2 baths. You know, I mean, spend an hour in the tub in the morning and an hour in the tub, you know, late afternoon or early evening, so that you can kind of, you know, try to get some of that out of your system. And then grounding yourself, standing barefoot on sand, grass, something natural, a natural stone, natural wood, on a natural environment. So that's going to help to ground your body. And by taking the time to ground your body, it's a really good time to try to do some meditation, because meditation can definitely change your vibration and change how you respond to things. And when you are sleep deprived, which most targeted individuals are sleep deprived, or they're very stressed out, the body responds in certain ways. It releases certain chemicals, cortisol, for example, for stress. Or if your sleep is poor because you're not able to sleep, you're going to have elevated cortisol levels. You're going to have other chemical imbalances. So you want to try to help your body to get to homeostasis, which is everything is kind of balanced out. I'm not a believer in taking a lot of vitamins, because really, I feel that what's most natural to the ground or natural is the best thing, as close to nature as possible. So rather than eating peanut butter, if you eat peanuts, or rather than eating almond butter, if you eat almonds, that's more natural than the butters. Although you can make your own almond butter or apple butter or cashew butter with a good blender, and then you know that there's no chemicals in there because it's only what you bought, the raw food. So you want to try to make sure that you're getting the nutrition that you need, and you're getting it as natural as possible. And water, by drinking water, you're going to be able to flush out these antioxidants. You're going to be able to flush out those cells, and it's going to reduce the static electricity ability of your body. Because if you're dehydrated and your skin's dehydrated and your hair's dehydrated, it's easier to have that static electricity than it would be if your skin is good and plump and your hair is, you're just, getting the appropriate hydration. So then there's always positive self-talk. I see patients all the time that talk negative about themselves or to themselves, like, oh, I'm stupid, I did this. And it's like, positive and negative self-talk is really just handing yourself over to the perps. So what you have to do is try to look at how can you turn it around so that you're saying something positive. Like, I'm not going to fall for this today. Well, instead of saying I'm not going to fall for this today, because that's still kind of negative, it's going to be, I'm strong and I'm going to conquer. I'm going to be in control of how I respond today. Hear the difference? So if you try sometimes, I tell people to write it down, like to think about different things that you would be responding to, and write down how you could make a positive thought out of that. Because until you're able to come up on this by yourself, it's hard and you might struggle. So if you start writing it down, you're going to see it. And then by having it written down, you're going to see it, then you're going to read it. And if you read it out loud, you're going to hear it and you're going to say it. So you're using 3 different senses. So again, it's reinforcing that positivity, and it's more likely to have more value to you if you're using more senses. I'm all for prayer. Whatever your higher power is, spend as much time thanking your higher power for what you have, asking for what you need, being a good person, keeping your vibration up, and not responding negatively. And because when we respond, if someone does something bad to us, I'm going to use an example that happened to me. So my daughter has a cat, and I was over the house, and the cat, for whatever reason, it jumped out at me, and it went to grab my leg. Fortunately, I had on leather boots, so it didn't hurt me, but I looked, and the cat expected me to yell at her, right? And instead, I went and, leaned down toward the cat and in a really, really kind, almost like a mother talking to an infant, and I just kind of talked to her that way. And she looked at me like, wow, that's not what I expected. She's never done that to me again, and it's been years. So I made her feel more secure that she knew she was bad, right? But she didn't get punished. So there's more trust in me, right? And I felt better because I didn't yell at her and make her run away, right? And make her to be even more of a bad cat. So maybe that's not the best example, but if I do something nice, so if somebody does something bad to me, and I don't respond in a negative way, I feel better. Because if I respond either neutral or with kindness, then I know that I'll be blessed for what I've done. And I also know that they don't expect you to respond that way, so they don't understand it. So it confuses them. And I kind of like to confuse them. And humor is a good thing. Laughing at the perp if that's okay. Don't be mean. As far as like, making fun of them like they're making fun of you. But if they do something stupid, or if they do something that they're trying to get a response from you, if you laugh, they look like a fool. And they know it because, they tried to upset you about whether it was street theater or whatever they're doing, and you laugh at them. No one likes to be laughed at. And laughing does give you good endorphins. But again, just remember kindness, because that's going to feed you, that's going to make you feel better about yourself. We talked about eating healthy. We talked about bathing, relaxing in the tub. I like to use Epsom salt with lavender. That helps. And then just take a quick shower after to rinse it all off, because it's got a lot of salt in it. These calls are really good because it's a really messed up program, but what these calls do is it resets you to say, I'm not nuts. This really is happening to me. I'm not alone. There's other people who it's happening to. And people can share different things that they've done that has worked, so that you can try to do other things to try to shield yourself from the torture or, stuff that they're trying to do to you. Reach out to a friend if you're feeling really low. If you're feeling you want to hurt yourself or somebody else, reach out to someone that you trust. I wouldn't text. Go ahead. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. I don't lose my legs. I feel a little better. It's a rest. Oh. Just sit and relax a little. What are we gonna do tonight? These guys at lunch. They're looking here. All right. Oh. What's this drink? Yeah. I got some plenty of Cheerios. Yeah.
Hey Willis, you're unmuted, bro.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it.
Anyways, I posted a link about does grounding really help or hurt? And from what I found, I think it actually hurts. Because I think it completes the path for the backscatter that I found on the frequency that's attacking people. So you should keep that in mind. I have more information on how I reverse engineered it and found that it's using backscatter to return data from nanotechnology inside your body. So
I have never heard that. Where did you post that link?
I posted it in the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Did you want to talk a little bit more about that? Because I had never heard that.
Yeah, so I could post another link right now. I basically did some high resolution analysis on the frequency that I found that was attacking me. And I had AI analyze it, and what AI thinks that it's doing is it kind of works kind of like a RFID or telemetry implant, where it, how can I say it? It illuminates, creates a reflection, then returns the data back, right? So I just posted a link to that here, and from my research, because of the way it works, I think the only thing you really want to ground, if you really want to protect yourself, is a Faraday cage, because you're grounding that as a shield that you're not attached to, right? So grounding it actually helps increase the strength of the shield. So if you build a Faraday cage that's, like say a solid copper box, and you ground it, you'll have more protection. But grounding yourself, it can actually complete the return signal.
So what I was saying about grounding was standing barefoot in the grass or on the sand at the beach, grounding in nature, not grounding electrically. And I do have to say, I have that mattress that it grounds. I'm trying to remember where I bought it from. It was from one of these sites years ago. I didn't find that it helped, but it has a silver thread in it, and you plug it in, and it's supposed to ground the mattress. But I didn't find that helpful. But a Faraday cage, absolutely, that's going to protect you from microwaves or whatever it is that they're doing. But in addition to that, they're not going to be able to get information from you either, right? Because if you put your cell phone in a Faraday cage, you're not going to have any service. Nothing's going to come in or go out from your cell phone.
Well,
just like your brain.
It depends, right? So there's different levels of Faraday cages. They're rated in attenuation, which is strength, right? They're rated in material. So you can have a Faraday cage that works, it's using a material that only works on super high frequencies. You can have one that works on super low frequencies. The material of the cage has to block whatever frequency is attacking, right? And the strength of it, so basically the distance of the tower to where you're at, it has to be a certain thickness. You have to make sure that there's no leaks, right? So it needs to be solid. It can get through a pinhole, a crack, a seam, anything that degrades the level of attenuation of the Faraday. So.
Do you sleep in a Faraday cage?
No.
I tried to make one years ago, and I just, I clearly, wasn't doing a very good job at it, so I gave up on it. But I do have a very large Faraday backpack, and I actually did put it over my head, and I drove the perps nuts. They weren't able to do anything. It took days for them to figure out how to find a vulnerability there, because you can't just keep your head in the backpack. You can't breathe. So I know that they're helpful. It does help.
So, they're like I said, they're rated on attenuation. I've built my own Faraday. I have a shielding guide that I made. I just posted it in the chat. Nobody's made a proper Faraday. A lot of people, they'll do it out of mesh or whatever. In order to guarantee that you block everything, you need a Faraday that has like a level of attenuation that's negative 150 dB. So it has to be strong, and there's a math formula for it. I have a diagram that I made, because one thing I've learned by building Faraday cages is you can die within 30 seconds if you go in one if you don't have proper airflow. So, so I think some TIs learned that one already. building Faraday tents. You could even build a tent per se, but you need to get ventilation going in and out. You'll become super hot in like 30 seconds. You'll start sweating and you won't be able to breathe. So that's the most important thing, besides using what they call the skin depth formula, which you take the frequency. I have it all on the chart. It talks about the skin depth formula. So it's like the frequency of the material, the conductivity of the material. It tells you how to test it. But yeah, if you build a Faraday cage that doesn't block stuff, it's not going to block it. But no one in the community I've seen has built a proper Faraday yet.
Yeah. Are you an engineer?
Yeah.
I can
used to do
tell.
computer science, but I don't know. Now I just do basic IT stuff, but I used to be a software engineer.
Okay.
And I'm trained in technical surveillance countermeasures, so I know a lot about RF and finding frequencies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
May I please ask, are you familiar with a material by the name of Linkstat? I'm sorry not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Linkstat?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Have you tried it? Does that really work?
I haven't tried it. I know Neil is big on it. I've researched it before. It had similar properties to Mylar, so I never purchased it. Basically, it was like the dielectric properties is why it's good, because it can shield against radar, stuff like that. So it makes it where it's hard to find you. So I know one engineer that got killed in his solid copper Faraday cage. That was a TI. He ran a TI tech group many years ago. And he used Mylar, and they used like a tracking pattern. That was kind of like a similar experience I had. I put Mylar on my roof, and all of a sudden I can feel it like scanning, just hitting me, trying to find me.
Find you. Okay.
But they could have just been messing with me. You know how they work. So it has like a high dielectric property, which basically, how can I say it removes their ability to adjust the frequency to get through objects.
Okay.
So, but you can go get a space blanket at Walmart for $5, and it has like about the same properties.
Oh, does it? Okay. Good. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to say that going back to what Dr. Pimenta said earlier, one of the reasons, other than the obvious, for taking 2 showers a day, exfoliation. Now, if you have exfoliated skin that hasn't been cleaned off, the dielectric properties of the surface of your skin increase. If your skin is clean and totally dry, it's a lot harder to get a current across it. I just wanted to drop that in there. And Victoria...
And well moisturized too, Frank.
Yes.
I just want to say, what I found is like a military grade weapon attacking me, and it could get through. It got through my shielded environment, and that's how I found it. But all it did was, limit 6,000 frequencies down to like 380 to 390 frequencies. It just helped me locate what was attacking me. But I don't have $15,000 to buy solid copper sheets. I don't have a room that can support that much weight. So I don't think most people do. I think anything minor like that is not going to help against the military grade weapon. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I believe most of it is scalar wave. I've tried a lot of things, something, and I still get the same amount of hitting. I've done Epsom salt bath. I've done a lot of other stuff, and I feel like a lot of it is not successful for me. So I'm still I'm always trying to research something that I can come across that can actually help me. I recently purchased some lead material, and it's doing a little bit of, to help me, but not as much. That's why I was curious about the links to see if I was to order that and tried it and see if that works with the um, lead feet that I had purchased.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part. You purchased lead sheets?
It's not just the lead sheets, it's about lead, pure lead.
Okay.
Amazon, because I get a lot of private sexual attacks, and I pretty much get attacked pretty much different areas on my body, and they've been really primarily targeting my brain a lot. So that's why I'm trying to see if I can get some links that maybe use it with the lead material that I purchased and see if I can get some type of relief from that.
Okay, what I would try first is possibly an X-ray shielding apron. I know that people have tried it and it hasn't worked. I think that you have to be just about 100% covered. And you want to concentrate on your head, neck, vagus nerve. Damn it, I can't think of the other one.
You got to be careful with those. They leak like lead powder.
Yeah, you don't want.
Yeah. You get lead poisoning, cause cancer. That's the reason why I stay away from anything that has lead, because I heard a lot of TIs. They'll buy like these aprons or this X-ray equipment that they put over them. I know one TI, he built like a little fort with these big lead sheets. But there's a reason why they ban lead paint.
Isn't there a standard for those lead aprons, since they are in a hospital? Such as in a hospital, you have 404 grade stainless steel that you wouldn't find anywhere else. Well, I think there's a high standard for those lead aprons.
Yeah, I just know that a lot of TIs were complaining that they were, because you put it on yourself all the time, that it just started, cracking open and leaking. So maybe
and they're very heavy.
Put a bag around.
They're heavy.
Make sure, just that you don't get lead poisoning, because that causes cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Willis.
Have you tried leather?
Okay.
Good evening, Frank.
Good evening. How you doing?
My best advice is check out the shielding guide and learn about the skin depth formula for the materials. But the one caveat is learn what materials also affect, the dielectric properties of something. So, I mean, solid aluminum, the three materials are aluminum, steel, and copper. copper's obviously the best. Aluminum, you need thicker aluminum, but it's a lot cheaper. Steel, you need a lot thicker steel. And there's a math formula called the skin depth formula that you have to use to figure it out. And I mean, there's a science to it, and it's pretty straightforward if you understand it. But then you mix it in with something that can block dielectric properties so they can't adjust the frequency to get through. So it's like when I take videos of them torturing me, I have it, you know, I've got tons of them on my site, and you can see it hitting the skin. It kind of looks like a spasm, right? It's not, but I'll take a piece of foil and I'll put over it, then it'll dent the foil in. You can see it like hit it really hard, but when it hits your skin, it looks like it's like an electric pulse, like it's, you know, almost vibrating.
Yep.
So what worked for me with the torture, honestly, was I took my phone, I took video of them torturing me, and I posted it all over social media, put it on my website, and now it's like I get maybe hit a couple times a week now versus like being tortured for hours daily. And it's like a few seconds. They do it so quick that I can't pick up my phone because they don't want taking evidence and showing people how to do it. So I think the you know the thing that's too hard to beat because you don't have enough money to build a cage that can actually block it, you know, because it's using like ground penetrating technology. You don't have enough copper. I mean, honestly, the best countermeasure is recording it on video and showing evidence of it. That, by far, that stopped my torture by like 90% or more. Now I just get V2K and remote neural monitoring, and when I go to sleep at night, you know, or they'll do sonic attacks, and they like to do that to me at night when I'm sleeping too, where it's like you get that loud screaming in your ear, and you know, sometimes you can't breathe, you can't move, and it's so loud that's can't really take a picture of that. So
one question I wanted to ask: does anyone get hit like as soon as you move while sleeping? Do you get dues like when you're trying to turn, or like I get that a lot? Like I get when they want me up, sometimes I get attacked actually while sleeping. It could be my brain, it could be my breast. It all depends what they want to do to me that day. But when I like kind of move from one side to another, the minute I move one limb, one leg, an arm, right there and then I get hit.
Okay, let's remember we have a guest speaker here if she's still here.
Does anybody have any questions for me? Because I'm going to be heading to bed soon because I've got clinic tomorrow. All right. I just want to just reaffirm positive self-talk. Let the perps do the negative. Don't allow yourself to think negative about yourself. Do the best you can about sleep. My sleep is every time I fall asleep, I get woken up. The most I think I've gotten would be 3 to 4 hours, but I'm exhausted, so they're doing something while I'm sleeping. I never wake up feeling refreshed. But do the best you can at getting sleep. Eat the best you can. Take good care of your body. You know, try to do, if you can, do meditation or prayer or, you know, whatever it is that your higher power is. Just, you know, focus on that. Be kind, and because that's actually going to keep your vibration higher, which will. I actually heard somebody say that when their vibration was higher, they couldn't really do much to him. And then something happened and his vibration dropped. And then the targeting started back up again. And then when he increased his vibration, it stopped again. So it really does work. And I mean, me personally, I just pray. I just pray to God and the Holy Spirit to protect me because, and it works. I have that sixth sense, so I automatically know what to do to protect myself. They've never really been able to hurt me. But just, those are some of the best coping mechanisms. Oh, so what I was saying is, if you feel hopeless or feeling like you don't want to live, find somebody that you can trust and talk to them, because that's a crappy way to feel. Don't give them what they want. You're worth living. Your life is worth living for, and get somebody who can help you through that.
Agreed.
Okay?
Thank you very
Well,
much.
Frank, I'm going to head to bed.
Okay, you have a good night.
Yes, you too. Thanks, y'all.
Bye now.
Bye.
Now, she's available anytime any of you would like to speak with her. She does charge eventually, but she might give you an introductory call. And Sue, Maya, also has the service. So reach out to these people. These people are in the neighborhood. Sue's been in the community for decades, I think. And it'll help them, too. Not monetarily. It'll help them to help you. And that's the way I see that. Because I know I feel really great when I help someone.
So someone commented, I've taken videos, showed it to my doctor. He said it's muscle spasms. I had the same problem, and that's why I do the foil test. I'll put foil over it when they're torturing me, and I will show it denting the foil. That's very, very, very important. And I actually have an article on why. The psychiatry community, they've actually made muscle spasms as a side effect of schizophrenia medicine. And it's torture. It's torture on video. I've never taken schizophrenia medicine in my life. And the only way to prove it is, and you got to move the distance of the foil, like whenever you're getting attacked on a certain area, you got to move it around a little bit, and you can actually see it, like, bam, it'll hit it, it'll make a noise, and it'll just dent in. And that's, you got to be careful just taking it, hitting your skin. You have to do the foil test to prove it. Very important.
Okay, thank you for your input. And we have a video on BitChute that Jesse Beltran has done. He exposes the dark truth. Jesse Beltran is a master hypnotist. He is incredibly intelligent. And I've had him as a guest. He is remarkable, I'll tell you. He does do scanning as well, I believe.
Yeah, but his scanning is bullshit. Excuse my language. He threatened to sue me because I debunked it the way he does scanning. So he's basically scamming people, and I proved it. I can explain it to you.
I don't like to hear a compatriot shot down by someone that I don't know.
You know me. I've known you for years.
I know who you are. I think you're Josh.
Yeah.
I thought so. I never ever forget a voice.
So, but I'll straight up tell you, the device that he's using, the ACECO F31003, it's a frequency counter. The only frequencies these devices can pick up are ham radios and CB radios. That's all they're made to pick up. I so I got a link right here. I ran it because I bought a frequency counter too, and I was trying to figure out how to do scan reports. I was analyzing everyone. So on the very bottom of the page, I have the spec sheet. You can upload this to ChatGPT, and there's an image right in the middle of the page that has like an FFT plot. That red line over top of it is anything above the red line that device can see. Anything below the red line that device cannot see. Now, this FFT plot I took the other day, and basically it could only see, this was not even in a Faraday. If it was in a Faraday, it would block it. So it can't see anything below the red line, and when I bought my frequency counter, I couldn't get it to see anything. I couldn't get it to see my cell phone, my Wi-Fi, anything. So that's why I did research on it, and I used the math formula along with ChatGPT to see what exactly they could see, and then I tried to figure out, what these devices are actually used for, and they're used to find, what frequency on a ham radio or a CB radio is being transmitted. So this blog post proves it. I used the millivolts to dBm conversion to show the noise floor and to show that this device can't even see anything. So I hate being that guy, but I actually found what's attacking us, and I know how to do a scanner. I know how to do TSCM work. I know how to find frequencies. That's what I'm trained to do. And I don't know. But I pointed this out, and they did threaten to sue me. So whatever. That's why I have this disclaimer on the top of it.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Actually, this is to that guy, Josh, because you sound like you're pretty knowledgeable on the different weapons and such, and you had just mentioned something about getting evidence. Now, I did an audio consultation with the girl named from Amy's Audio on a severe attack that I had. It was the most severe attack, and I just I instinctively knew as soon as it started it was going to be severe. So I did a recording, the blank recording video, so that it could be analyzed for audio. And the attack was so severe I passed out for 2 hours in the middle of it. And we got through 15 seconds of the 3 minutes of it, and it took an hour to get through the 15 seconds. And on the audio, what was discovered and what we found evidence of is you hear all of the talking of what they're doing. You get their networks, what kind of attacks, where they're coming from. Is it coming from the water, the air, the land? Is it, guys outside? I mean, whatever it is it, what kind of weapons it is. You hear all of their talk. Everything is caught on that audio. And have you had any experience with any of those audio consultations? Have you done that before?
I talked to her because I used to be part of the tech team for PAX, and she was a part of it after I left PAX International. So I was the head of the tech team for them. They sent me to go get TSCM trained. And that's why I'm able to do everything that I'm doing right now. And I didn't find, she told me how she was doing it. I didn't find anything. I think she's splicing in audio into sound because she told me that was using Audacity and basically looking at the carrier waves. And Audacity is a free program; anybody can download it. You just got to make sure there's no wind, there's nothing when you're doing the tests. Got to be very careful with that. But I didn't find anything. I think that.
So, but we got a lot of information, and and a couple of the things I'd like to ask you about that was discovered. And then the second part of my question to you will be, how do I validate what her findings are? Because she said she's willing to put this in a report, and it's admissible in court, and that it's solid evidence. I wouldn't have thought otherwise until you said that. I'm concerned that maybe,
Yeah.
Okay, I have to interrupt you here for a second because I'm getting concerned because you are coming very close to making yourself a liability to these people that you've exposed in the chat, and I don't like it.
I figured out what's going on, and I know the truth, and I'm trying to save the community and guide them in the right direction. So
Okay, I'm gonna grant you some latitude concerning the last question, and I want to hear you debunk this because if it is not correct, we don't need it. Okay, so I'm going to give you some latitude. Go ahead.
Okay.
So what the findings were what we heard on the audio was that there was, first of all, they called out a scheduler, and it was the roll call for all that were involved in my attack. They take a roll call. There was 1,800 people involved in my attack that did a roll call. They called out different things, like you heard someone say, destroy the cheek. She's dangerous. They called out the type of weapons, cyclone. They called out the type of lasers, purple and yellow.
Did you hear the V2K say this?
No, I don't have V2K.
Okay, you don't have V2K. So
this was caught on the audio that I captured that I recorded during the attack.
Because okay, I don't know what to say about that. I feel bad for.
Because I don't understand how that's all caught. Because to us, like, all you hear is blank out. I just know that I'm experiencing extreme pain. My head was getting hit. I passed out from the pain.
I will tell you this. Derek told me to ask her how she does this. I quizzed her on it because he wanted me to figure it out when she first started going through it. And she told me she was grabbing the carrier wave with Audacity. I checked all that out. I didn't find anything. And that's what I'm going to say there. But then, you get people, saying, oh, it's hard because you've got the whole community where there's people purposely spreading disinformation on purpose. And
that's what I'm concerned about.
So whenever you say something, like whenever I say anything, then all of a sudden I'll get like 2 or 3 people like last week I had someone say, oh, well, I had Jesse Pelletran's frequency match my other frequency. And it's like, well, when I analyze the equipment's capabilities, it can't see any frequency. Then when I look at, I've seen, 5 or 6 reports from Kingston, and all he's giving is signals of interest. He's not giving a fundamental. In TSCM terms, that's just basically a frequency that you have to look at and see what it is. So
But
you
the Army was called out, and that the Army was present and the Navy was present, and they were using military-grade weapons on me. And I could pretty much testify that what I was experiencing was military-grade weapons. There's no doubt on my mind on that.
like,
No
they
doubt on my mind.
can't admit that. I mean, you got to use common sense on that one. You know,
And
you gotta
where I
use
was
common sense.
located at the moment, I was near a base.
I mean, you got to use common sense. Now, the way that I figured out, and what was attacking me, I found a frequency that was resonating on my head. It was a comb frequency, and it's basically working like what radar does. I have a lot of information on it, and I believe that it's using the Frey effect from what I reverse engineered, which basically does like heating and cooling in your inner ear, like vibrates your inner ear and creates the audio. It's not in the airwaves. It's no way to pick that up. And I have IQ data from it. Like my TSCM instructor told me, if you don't have the IQ data, you don't have the frequency. If anyone does any of these scan reports, you have to make sure you have the IQ data, which is saving the frequency to hard disk. That's the only evidence that you have. The only evidence. That proves everything. So you get all these scan reports that aren't done properly and not using the proper equipment. You have to have a spectrum analyzer that's high resolution. That's the only way to do it. There is no other way. Okay?
Okay.
So
that's the only evidence that would work. Well, see, the thing is, there was a name that was called out. As she's going through the audio, she screams out what she's hearing. And she said a name that I know. First of all, it's not like Tom, Jim, Bob. It's not like a regular name. She said a name specifically that was connected to me, and I know for a fact this probably is involved in my targeting, a personal name. So it led me to believe everything else was on the level. Now, how do you go about getting someone to, what kind of service, who do you go to for that you're talking about to get like specifically the...
So I'm going to tell you personally, I recommend buying a high-end resolution spectrum analyzer.
Oh, I could never afford that. That's thousands and thousands. That's like 10,000. You have to have it calibrated through Germany and some kind of craziness, right?
You could rent them.
Why can't we share?
I paid $3,000 for mine. So you need a high-end spectrum analyzer. You have to record all the frequencies. You have to go through a process of classifying a frequency using signal intelligence. I have a reference to this. If you go to tscm.com, threat levels, I'll post a link in 2 seconds.
Well, I'm not in the chat. I'm just on the phone.
Okay, so if you search tscm.com, threat levels, it'll come up. Like, it's for the equipment that you need to be able to do this. You have to be at level 7 or 8. A lot of these, training courses.
See, I'm not confident in thinking that I can do this myself. Technology it's just not my thing, and I just don't have the mind for it. How do I find someone to do this for me? How can I find someone like you who's educated and has the equipment that I can
So my recommendation is do not go to a TSCM person and tell them you're targeted. Because they either A, will not work with you. Like my TSCM instructor told me, they had a big influx of like targeted individuals and stuff. He talked about them for 2 hours. And he said, if you see anybody like this, you tell me and let me know if they're working with these people. That's what he told me to tell him. So he didn't know I was a TI taking this class. That's the funny part about it. But they have a hierarchy in the TSCM community, and they're not allowed to, if they do, they get in trouble because there's like a certain group of people that control the top of the TI community or the TSCM community. Okay, so you have to go to them and you have to say, classify all the frequencies. You know.
But aren't they going to figure that out by doing those readings? That's what that is?
Let me tell you what a TSCM person does. They find bugs. They find them in a localized area. 90% of the bugs that they find, they use a nonlinear junction detector. So they're actually, it kind of looks like a metal detector, but it detects diodes and circuits and stuff. Even if the device is turned off, it can find it. So most of them don't even find them with the spectrum analyzer, but the couple, there's like, you know, one or two companies, I would say one main company that teaches you how to do it properly, besides the people that are trained by the government, and they're up in Canada. There's only one company that really teaches people the proper way, because the company in America, that's who Kingston was trained by, REI, they do not have the proper equipment with the proper resolution to see state actors. They don't teach you how to find state actors. They teach you how to find common commercial bugs. They don't teach you that. So it's hard because you know you need something more than what they normally do. You need someone, you know, that basically used to work for the government, and you want them to classify the entire spectrum, and those guys will charge like $30,000 to do that, because it takes them several weeks, and they have, you know, $500,000 worth of equipment, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in software to be able to do the signal intelligence. The guys that have the cheaper equipment, they don't have the capability. The only capability I have, because I don't have that many resources, I have the high end, like a cheaper high end, you know, resolution spectrum analyzer. I don't have like a $200,000 one or $400,000 one like a lot of these guys have. And I have to write my software based off the signal intelligence that I find, basically looking at the waterfall and stuff by classifying it. I have to write software to do stuff.
Yeah, I got the software and the right ones, so.
So
So you're teaching your software by the frequencies you're taking.
I'm writing custom software to basically be able to decode it and figure out more information.
You're using AI to help you?
A lot of it, yeah. I use
Okay.
AI a lot now.
Yeah.
So why is it that they don't like the terminology targeted, and not being a smart, you know, I'm not trying to be a smart ass or anything, but why should I not say what I am? You know what I mean? I don't understand why we have to walk on eggshells about what they're doing. I think we should be hollering a little bit more.
You have to understand the whole system is weaponized against you. Okay, they're trying to get you committed, and the legal system's weaponized against you.
It's got quite the yapper, though.
The medical system's weaponized against you, and it's by design. So, I don't know. And I see Frank's message about me getting into it with Richard Lighthouse. Yeah, he had a bunch of stuff about time machines and stuff when I ran it through AI, and we got in a big argument. So he didn't like the fact that it debunked all of his stuff that he made up. But nothing I could do about it. But I tried to give all this information to people for years, and this is the reason why I built cybertorture.com, because I felt like all my information was being gate kept, and the real information wasn't getting out. Then it had all these scams that were supposedly supposed to be the real stuff. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I got trained, because I kept getting fake information. That's the reason why I had to go get trained. And thank you, Derek, for sending me there. It's just it's a hard problem to solve, and that's why I built cybertorture.com. It might be a little complex for a lot of people, but I think if you sit there and you learn everything that I'm trying to relay, it will help guide you in a better direction of understanding why and what you have to do. I don't know.
Yeah, you're the one who's going to have the call, right? On Thursdays at 7 starting or something? Is that the 5th of June?
I thought he had one every Thursday starting.
I started it, but I don't get that many people. I think I might change the day. And that's kind of why I wanted to get on here. I didn't want to conflict with Frank's call, too. Wanted to talk to him about it. So, yeah, I don't want to be that guy, because my experience with Frank is at least he was after the truth back in the day, you know. So
Still,
I
excuse me.
admire that about him.
I still am after the truth. The truth is what we need in this community.
I agree. The truth. But the truth may hurt some, baby.
Nicey Black Queen, would you use a regular voice if you're going to speak? Or Nicey Black Queen? Nicey Black Queen?
So
say again.
Frank, that's Cheech. I don't know if you know about him, but he's been hacking everybody's calls and phones. He calls a bunch of us women on our personal phone numbers.
Okay, all right. I've got his number now.
He's got a bunch of burner phones, from what I hear.
He'll keep calling back in and calling back in.
Anyways, I've been trying to get the information out, and trying to show people the right way to do things so we can have real evidence when we go to court. And that's my main goal. You know, like I think the two most important things are finding the frequency that's resonating on your body, getting the IQ data for it, and showing torture, hitting your skin on video, and you have to do the foil test. Those are the two most important pieces of evidence that I think people need. But once you find the frequency, you can track down the towers, then you have your person to take to court. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm after. I'm after trying to get this stopped. So, and I'm just like anyone else, any one of us, just trying to struggle
V2K?
with.
Are you V2K or
No.
gang stalk?
I'm gang stalked heavily, and
Me
especially
too.
since I started going. I mean, heavily.
Me too. Me too. I can't walk out my house. So,
It's bad. 50 to
bad.
100 cars when I drive anywhere. It's insane. I mean,
I don't know how they do it.
It's a whole circus.
I don't know how they
either.
do it.
I
don't get it.
That's a lot of money.
And we're not
I mean,
schizophrenic. How are we schizophrenic if you and I are discussing this? I've never met you. We're not schizophrenic because that's what they'll say we are.
No, I've got video
You know?
evidence of it. It's crazy.
Well,
I
it
mean,
takes-
things that you would never.
Schizophrenia
I've got
takes
witnesses.
place
My
in.
mother's with me, and she knows.
Yeah, I believe
sees it.
you. I believe you. I believe you.
Schizophrenia
But anyway,
takes place.
I'm just looking for how and what evidence I need and how to go about getting it and the right avenue. I don't have a lot of money to blow on this stuff, so wasting time on things and directions that aren't going to get me anywhere is not what I'm interested in hearing about. Debunk those ones. Let's get rid of those ones and let's figure out which direction do I need to go to get the right evidence.
Do you have any cases? Because I filed civil cases with the clerk of the courts. I found a statute with the Code of Ethics for the police, USC 18 for the county that I'm in, There's certain criteria that has to be met. There's a special privilege that we have, that the police have for us. Their duty to protect is part of it. They're breaking that code, and you can file.
When they're not laughing at us. When
Well,
they're
you
not
can
laughing
file
at
a right. Well, it doesn't matter if they're laughing at them or laughing at you. I mean, it matters. I mean, I'm not saying your feelings don't matter, but what I'm saying is if you want something that you can do that doesn't cost you a lot of money, I wouldn't care if they were laughing at me or not, because in the end, they're the ones who are going to be crying because they're going to have to explain themselves to someone else a lot higher up than us. So I filed a civil circuit case, and I have evidence, and I report any business to the Better Business. This is my formula. Any business that messes with me, or at least I think that they're treating me unfairly, badgering me, gang stalking me, not making my life horrible, I write to the Better Business Bureau every time. I used to never say anything. I kept my mouth quiet for 30 plus years, and now if you do something to me in a business, I'm going to write you up. I'm going to write it to the Better Business Bureau, because they have to, number one, respond to you. Number two, it's evidence to put in your civil circuit case that you bring to the courts, because if you show how much aggravation you're having to endure every time you go out, someone's going to listen. So you can file a civil circuit, and you can write a statement of claim. You have to write a standing order. You have to do a pro se, unless you want to get an attorney. I did pro se because I don't have the money to.
Now, are
And
you
I filed-
including the unlawful surveillance, like the constant monitoring and following you? Are you including any of that in your cases?
I have harassment, different types of harassment, but that kind of stuff
Like
is
what?
kind of hard. It's kind of hard to prove. Some of the sexual harassment that I had at work, but that's
Oh.
easier to prove. But that is still
Right.
targeting. It's still targeting.
My thought on that, and just recently, there's a guy who's got a Telegram.
Well, let me finish with her, because I don't want to. I just want to tell her if she wants something that she can work on. So what I did was I filed a civil case, and you have to file with it, or you have to demand a right of mandamus, WRITMANDAMUS, mandamus. That's the right of mandamus. You have to demand that from the judge respectfully, and that will get you maybe to a hearing. And if it doesn't, at least it gets a history of what's going on, because the clerk of the courts, whatever county you're in, that is our archived history for our whole history. It's when we buy houses, when we have a dispute, when we get married, when we have kids, all that stuff is recorded. And that is the only way I know of to document what's going on in an affordable way, that won't, you don't have to go into Hawk to do. So that's just if you want to do it, that's just my 2 cents. If you need any.
I'm more concerned on getting the evidence of the torture to get that stopped. Because I'm not looking to fry my brains and die over this, because this is nonsense.
And
So-
my 2 cents on that, there's a guy, his screen name was Medicine Out. He just got out of the psych ward. There was like some phone system that he was claiming that was attacking him, and he kept sending messages to the government. And I saw what the device was. It was just like a voicemail system for a phone system, and I tried to tell him that. And he just got out of the psych ward after being in there for a year because he kept harassing the cops about it. So you got to be careful. Go there at the right.
Right. No, I'm not doing any of that.
You don't want to build a record when you have a background check of all these frivolous lawsuits either. You have to know the law, and it's your responsibility to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I do, and I have. There's an intention abuse tort, and I fit under the statute of limitations for that. So I don't have anything frivolous, sir.
I mean, if you're not going to court with the right person that's attacking you and the right evidence, that's I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned. I don't want to file a bunch of different kinds of lawsuits. I'm looking just to, walk in with the evidence I need that I'm being tortured and it needs to be stopped. and how I go about getting that evidence. That's where I'm at. I don't know what the right direction is and which what ways or who or what. I'm confused on all that.
So it's a fight that I've been fighting for a long time, and I'm just you're gonna waste money if you get a scan report from someone in the community. I'm just telling you now. There is no easy solution. You're not gonna find an easy solution. So.
So what's your best educated guess? Like, where would you start if you were me? If you were being hit really hard? Because I'm getting hit really hard.
Start taking video evidence of it hitting your skin. Take video evidence of it denting foil when you put it over you hitting your skin. That's probably one of the top things. Then you have to start building a shielded environment so you can limit the amount of frequencies that you have to classify. You're going to have to either rent a spectrum analyzer or, like I said, hire someone to sweep with the spectrum analyzer. But you go to a TSCM person, they charge $1,500 to $3,000 for 1 day's work. So you can buy a spectrum, you can buy a BB60C for that.
And they're not breaking in one of them and then charging like they do to do what they do. Why would there be a company that does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all came together and put our money together, invest in one, and then start using it and selling it, we can make a ton of money. It's like owning a damn apartment building, selling it for renting it for $1,500 a pop. I mean.
I got my own spectrum analyzer, and I got trained, so I didn't have to hire someone to do it. But I'm just saying, from what I've seen, you're not going to be able to trust anybody, and you're going to have to classify everything that gets through the Faraday. You're going to have to do it at a high resolution with the spectrum analyzer. You're gonna have to understand what resolution bandwidth is, what the noise floor is. You have to understand the proper equipment. I have everything on cybertorture.com. I'm trying to teach people TSCM. I still have like 50 more articles I have to write.
All that for me.
It's very interesting. It's just how do you, where do you even go? She's right. Like, where do you even start? Like, who do you? If these guys are $100,000 machines. Because you're saying that the ones that you would get from, just anybody, it's not going to hold its weight in court.
And let me tell you, here's another catch-22 for TSCM people. In our training, if we saw a FBI sticker on a tracking device or a surveillance device, when we do a sweep, they showed us what the sticker looks like. They'll say like property of Federal Bureau of Investigations on it. We're not allowed to remove it. They showed us specifically what FBI devices look like on a spectrum analyzer. That's why they had them in our class. So we can detect them so we know not to remove them. And if we remove them, we can go to jail. And that's the reason why TSCM people will not help you.
Now, could you go to a school or wherever institution you went to get this higher learning? Can we go there, show up, and can we offer to be scanned for the class? And that could be a way to show evidence?
They won't help you. It's considered interfering with the criminal case. And they can go to jail for it, so they will not help you.
Investigator. You could be a PI.
So, I'm just trying to give the best advice and what I know, and really.
Or you can just start a business and you can start doing it for us.
I'm trying to teach people.
You can get grants right now. You can go to the government and get grants.
For people to gather their own evidence. That's why I'm trying to teach people what equipment, how to find it, what's attacking you, But
Yeah, but I think I think I'd rather you not try to teach all of us to be you and all of us just go to you.
I got money.
That's what I'm saying. Because Josh, some of us just don't have the capability of understanding what that technology is, no matter what we're taught or how we're taught. I'm a very intelligent person. Graduating top of my class, but I don't have the mind to understand or take in and process what it takes to be confident in this technology. I just don't, because I don't get it. It's like me reading Japanese or speaking Japanese. It's just not something I don't think I'd feel confident to be ever, be able to do. Not in the capacity that you can or understand it and process it.
It's what you like. You're interested in it.
I understand where you're coming from with that, but like I said, interfering with a criminal case that could put me in jail. You know what I mean? So
you're worried about the personal repercussions of it. I get it. Okay, I was just trying to understand why. I get it.
If you had is everyone hearing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he doesn't want to get involved because of the personal repercussions of it, and I get that. I was just looking for the honest answer, and that's what it is.
I'm telling you right now, that's the reason why, you're not getting the information you need from the TSCM community as well, and there's just only so many people out there who are trained that can even figure this out. But I'm trying to teach,
muted.
If you wanna
unmuted,
if you wanna solve this problem, you're gonna have to take the time and try to learn. In my experience in tech, being in tech for 25 years, it's teachable to anybody. And honestly, when you break it down, it's not. I mean, some of it gets difficult when you get into classifying everything, but you can learn the basics of how to find a state actor using a spectrum analyzer in a week. If you sat down.
But she could be hurt really badly in the time frame she's trying to learn how to help herself.
You can learn how to use the spectrum analyzer to capture the information that you need. Then you can send that to somebody and that does signal intelligence. If you can't do the signal intelligence part yourself, you don't have the money for $30,000, $100,000 signal intelligence software. You can have them figure out a lot of that for you. You can actually upload
muted
your FFT plot.
Unmuted.
You can upload your FFT plot and waterfall to ChatGPT, and that will give you a lot of signal intelligence on it as well. But
how much do you need?
I have all the information. I don't charge anybody, and I don't do that for a reason. And the main reason is I don't want people to say, "Oh."
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
I keep getting muted and unmuted. I don't know what's going on there. I don't want to.
Me too.
Hey
Josh, could I ask you a question? Josh, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm interested to know what you think of the scanning reliability of these different scans. I don't know if you have decided to dismiss them all out of hand, but I've heard of Kingston, Beltran, Hopper, Shijenko, Stanninger, Kidder. Do you have enough information to form an opinion? Like, could you give a reliability rating just on your own opinion from 0 to 100 of any of these scans?
I have all of the information where I have it broke down on the debunked section of cybertorture.com. So in order to do what you need to do, you have to have the proper equipment that can see the noise floor. So in the tech section, I have.
So how much would that be in addition to taking to get the information and take the class, or to get the education? In addition to per person, how much can you give us that information?
So taking the class is the starting point. Okay, the part I don't know how to explain it, because it gets, when you're going against this level of a threat, there isn't, signal intelligence software that can find V2K, right? Because that's a covert black ops government frequency that, maybe the top AI models in the world can help you figure it out. That's the best advice. But I have the spectrum analyzer comparison right here. It tells you the devices. I have the Signal Hum BB60C. So out of this entire list, there's only 3 of them that, or 4 that I would even think about using, because it has to see the noise floor. The noise floor is negative 172 to 174 dB. If the device cannot see the noise floor, it cannot see every frequency.
And what? Okay, so how much per person for us to get help? Period. Do you know?
The BB60Cs, you can get them used on eBay for $3,000 or new for $4,500. That's going to be the cheapest. The next up is like the Aronia V6, and only the V6. None of the other Aronias can do it. But I haven't verified that device can see what I found. I don't know if they're blocking anything or whatever.
So you shoot this device in your home, and then whatever you record, you upload it to the signaling software. Is that what you mean? And then that's the evidence to show that you are being hit with directed energy weapons?
It's
basically, in a nutshell?
There's a lot more to it than that.
Okay, and so if you're telling us that we should do it ourselves, that's what I think. That's where this call gets, when you get on the call, it gets so turned around, because nobody knows where to go after they talk. When you're I know you're trying to help us, but it's just, if you want to help us, just give us a set rate of what it's going to cost each person. What do you think it's going to cost each person?
Well, I can. So I built a shielded room for like $800. I have a guide on how I did that. I'll post that.
I would never pay you no. That's great.
So let me find it. I'm gonna find the link. I have a lot of.
Well, is there a way you could just like write it up, something like, not write, I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe that's something you can work on for the next call? That you could get something prepared that you can write up for everybody that would be universal for everyone, so we know what you're saying that we need. Make a list.
Yeah, I have that. I'm trying to. I got the link right here. Hold on. Here's the basic information, the most important information you have to know. Okay. If you're having issues with this, like understanding it, I highly recommend using ChatGPT to understand it. You can copy and paste this in there, and you can be like, "Can you explain this to me?" Where a middle schooler could understand. You can say something like that, and it will try to explain it for you, and you can have it give you tutorials on how to do things. But this is the basic guide, and there's expanded articles that are more advanced. They tell you the equipment. I talk about signal intelligence software. I talk about high resolution sweeps. I talk about building a shielded room. It's all on the website. I built this site to teach everybody. That's what I built it for, to give my information to everybody so we can solve this. And and everything is AI validated and scientifically proven. If you see anything that is questionable, let me know so I can fix it, or, maybe you don't understand it so we can talk about it too, and then I can prove it. So, it just, yeah, I use this guide as your base reference. Is all I recommend.
Josh, I was just ask you one more time, which of these scanning people do you consider more reliable? Kingston, Beltran, Hawker, Shijenko?
So you want me to break it down?
Yeah, anything you want to say, just give your opinion, your technical, informed opinion.
Okay. So, Jesse Beltran, his device can't see anything. Okay. It can only see ham radios and CB radios. All right. There's a button on his device where he can pretty much make up a frequency. He attached a metal antenna, so it causes a coupling reaction. So when he hits the hold button, it's like a make-up frequency button. You got Roger Tolse's, which has right now I think his analyzer is probably worth about $400. It cannot see all frequencies; it only sees negative 90 dB. You have to be able to see. Like I have a video of him on YouTube where he's showing. Come on now. It can't.
You can be nice and friendly.
It can't save IQ data. Kingston, he's trained by REI. He has the best equipment yet, but he's not giving you signals of interest, he's just giving you signals of interest. He's not giving you the actual fundamental. And when I run his report through analysis, I see like this one report he added as a signal of interest was probably a TV studio transmitter and a cellular band uplink. I've seen many of his reports, and every report that I ran through AI analysis, it's just there's other than what the AI gave me on it. There's no waterfall on it. There's no IQ data.
Has Kingston gone ahead and learned to do the state actor frequencies like you were saying you could do?
He doesn't give you a report. There is no report. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is nothing.
Why do you think he hasn't done that? Why do you think he hasn't done that? I mean, his training didn't.
The conference has been locked.
Did, but you said that you could learn that within a week.
His equipment is not capable. It doesn't have the resolution bandwidth to do it. And from the report, he's not sweeping at the resolution bandwidth. It also does not save IQ data to gather physical evidence. So that's.
Have you had much to do with Hoffer or Shijenko scans? Do you have any opinion on them?
Hoffer, I don't know anything about. I did figure out some, like, he might be legit. He was scanning. He was the guy from Miami who was scanning he's like a doctor scanning Havana syndrome people, right? He was using advanced medical techniques. He might be legit, but I think those were like more like medical tests. I don't know if it was RF scanning.
Hey, Josh?
Yeah.
He is like top notch. He's not doing radio scanning. It is medical. And he is the original person selected to test the Havana syndrome victims.
Yes, sir. He's a top-notch Army doctor, and he's the first one that diagnosed Havana syndrome in Florida. And he's no longer taking Havana syndrome patients.
Yeah, so he might be like the only
The conference has been unlocked.
not RF scans. So medical scans, yeah, but it's apples and oranges, you know. He proves it through like advanced tests. It's been a while since I looked at his stuff. I think John from the tech team sent it to me back in the day. So you know, apples.
Well,
and
he's an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he diagnoses Savannah syndrome. So he's using different examinations than you use. So he's the one that can diagnose Savannah syndrome, and with your technology, you can.
It's
And
like,
you're not a doctor. You're not a doctor to diagnose it either.
yeah. So I mean,
Thank you for that.
He's
For
the
that.
medical
It's
side of it.
time to clean it up here a bit, you know. Josh is in no position to evaluate a medical doctor, right? The two of the names that were provided are medical doctors, and they're prominent, well-respected medical doctors. We don't care what Josh thinks about those medical doctors. He has no experience concerning
I
those
wasn't
medical
saying anything
doctors.
bad about it. I was saying
Well,
that
don't
it's
say anything at all. Don't say anything at all.
Okay, Josh, it's time to stand down, bud.
You know?
It's time to stand down. Let somebody else speak. Thank you.
Josh, you know, your opinion is, you know, is well respected or well received, right? But you talk beyond your knowledge level in a lot of areas, in my opinion, right? And you're discounting some of the tremendous value that Kingston has provided to people regarding chips that are in their bodies, you know? So don't just start bad mouthing people that are also trying to work and help out people like ourselves, you know? And the same thing with Jesse Beltran, you know? Don't be doing that kind of thing. You got to get smarter.
I did a complete technical evaluation on what I'm trained on, and my level is higher than theirs on this specific thing, and they can't do it.
You don't even have the equipment. You don't even
have the
have
equipment.
an inline junction scan. You don't even have an inline junction scan.
A
How can you
nonlinear
say
junction detector. I'm trained on them.
it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. The point is, right? The point is, I think it's well known that Kingston doesn't provide the information, enough information to go to court, right? But that doesn't mean that the people that go to him don't derive the information that they're looking for, right?
So
not everybody's trying to go to court. You know?
Okay.
Let's just want to educate ourselves in terms of who the hell is screwing up my life, right? That's what we care about. And then if we decide to go to court, then we'll go and get the appropriate evidence from yourself or someone else, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you do have the appropriate evidence, you still have about a 5% chance of getting a judge who's going to listen to you, you know, right? That's the reality, you know. Doesn't matter. You can provide the best evidence in the world, and all these federal judges have been, you know, had signed a document that says if someone comes in and talks about this, you get it out of court. That's what's going on. That's well known.
So I just want to clarify: a nonlinear junction detector and spectrum analysis are completely different. That's like basically kind of like a metal detector.
Saying that you're talking about like you're the same thing as John Kingston. You don't have his equipment, right? You don't have his equipment.
I've used it, and
don't sound like you're an expert on what he does. Don't sound like you're an expert on, you know, the fact that he does this.
I'm certified.
We don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it.
I'm
you get way ahead of yourself.
I'm
you get way ahead of yourself. I'm technical too. You know, I'm technical too, right? I don't sit on here and blab, you know, about my technical skills, right? Because I know that my technical skills aren't great in this area, but that doesn't mean I'm stupid, right? And that applies to almost everybody on this phone, right?
What if I tell you I've built my own nonlinear junction detector before using a Hack RF and a DV60C, and I know how they work inside out?
Well, I would say wonderful, but it's not going to do you any good if you took that and you took it to court, because it's never going to make it through the court, right? And as far as that goes, any evidence that you come up with is not going to make it through the court either, because they're going to want some expert witness that's a PhD, you know, or a master's in this or a master's in that. And I don't think you're one of those, you know. That's what you're going to need when you go to court. And he's not going to come out here and validate you. He's going to do it himself.
Well, I'm telling you.
No,
I'm certified by the head of the TSM community.
Backtrack, because there is no covering your tracks. You know, you're blowing a lot of shit.
I'm not. All right. I've been to college for computer science engineering. I've been in tech for 25 years. I'm certified by the head of the Canadian government. The guy is head of TSEM for the Canadian government. That's who trained me. All right. His training, they're not allowed to teach in America because of what they teach. Civilians can't get that training.
No one's discounting that. And that's fine. No one's discounting it, right? I'm not discounting.
I'm certified.
That doesn't mean that you get on this phone and you are derogatory toward other individuals who are doing tremendous things for the community.
They're not. They're doing.
That's where you need to shut up.
They're doing.
No, you need to shut up. You need to shut up.
You want to see the scan reports? I'll post them right now, dude. Let's go over it.
I have them. I have them too.
All right.
Doesn't matter to me.
Let's not argue. I've already asked you, Josh. That's enough.
He called me out, man. So
well,
he doesn't know what I know.
All right. Well, he's not going to do that anymore. We don't need arguments here. We don't have arguments here. We're all adults. Let's act like adults.
I understand, Frank. It's just that this is the third call I've heard this nonsense.
Oh, it's the first one I've heard it. So, you know, I granted him some latitude so that he could try and explain himself. But it's gone on too long. That's the only thing I will say. Everyone here should have a chance to speak. And Dee just spoke, Josh spoke, and we've had a number of people speak here tonight. And that is what this forum is for. And we've gotten to the point where Josh has overridden allotted time, if you will. And we need to move on. So thank you, Dee, and thank you, Josh. And no one is restricted here. Okay? So if Dee pipes up again and Josh pipes up again, I'm just going to get on here and say the same thing.
The thing I object about, Frank, and this is Tony Medina speaking, the only thing that I object, Frank, is that one TI speak ill about another TI in a general forum. If you have something negative to say, it's important to approach that person individually and air out your grievances and not do it in this format, especially when you're talking about professionals and ones with advanced degrees like doctors and so forth. We don't want to disparage anybody like that and come across that way. And that's what I would like to leave and over.
So I'll let you know. I'm just going to talk about this briefly. I've messaged every single person. I've tried to talk to Beltran. I offered I'll train you. I'll teach you how to do it the right way. I've talked to all of them, and I did not badmouth Hoffer or anything like that. I believe that he was on the right track with the medical stuff. Okay, I never said anything bad about him. I said I didn't know much about him. Okay, but the technical stuff that I'm talking about, I found flaws in what I've seen that make it impossible to claim what they're claiming. With my training, I posted it, and I've talked to each of them individually. I've called all of them. I've tried to talk to them. So
maybe you turn them off.
I've tried that route, and that's not what it is. It comes down to, you know, they want to make money off of it. That's what it comes down to. They don't care if it's accurate or not.
I don't agree.
Well, everything on my website proves that wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, we've got a great crowd here tonight, and I'm sure somebody would like to grab the mic and flip out.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, how you doing?
Hope you're doing well, Frank. I just got out of the hospital. I'm doing pretty damn good, actually, for how bad I was. But the only site I've been going to was Derrick's for a while. And back in the day, I'd say a year ago, they were saying, same time I was getting my heart shot up. And it's weird. I was saying how good I was doing to my buddy, and I said, I'm going to take my wheelchair out of the kitchen and stuff and put the chairs back in if you want to come over once in a while, you know, because I wasn't having anybody over the house. Next thing I know, I'm back in the hospital. I mean, I was totally destroyed. The physical therapy that all them people have femurs for legs. I can't believe that they, you know, like my own legs were down to just a bone. I started eating, you know, they give you like breakfast, and they did allow you to get Walmart deliveries. I'd sit there and eat 4 more bowls of cereal, or, you know, I just ate. I gained 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Got me looking a little better, but I still get a little heart pain. I never had that before. You know what? I got to say something real quick on a weird story. I play these sevens. I'm not doing any more on PA lottery. It's just like a slot machine. And I got shot in the knees twice. I mean, both knees. And I'm sitting there, I go, no way is the sevens going to spin around. And they did. And it happened 4 more times. And I tell it to people, and it like maybe goes over their head. Because that would show that whoever's doing this has control over the lottery, too, at the same time. While they're shooting me, they're actually altering the machine to make me win. I think that's one of the craziest things that happened to me. Anyways, my question before was, how's Chatterbox transmitted?
The original Voice to Skull was found by a doctor named Dr. Fry. So they call it the Frey effect. Okay. Now that's the original, and it's microwave hearing effect. Now now we've come a long way since microwave hearing effect. Now we're utilizing the body area network, the wireless body area network, and you could be chatterboxed up through that. You could be chatterboxed up through a number of things. There's something called audio spotlight, where you use a direct beam and point it at a person. It doesn't need to be at the head, but as long as it's pointing in the direction of a person, they'll hear only what you're saying, and their neighbor won't hear anything. Kind of like Voice to Skull works with us. So there are a number of things, but we've come a long way from microwave hearing effect and the Frey hearing effect. We're already into visual light communication and a wireless body area network. Over.
So how do you know? Like, what does it feel like? Is it like a pain? Is it burning? Do you get bruising from it? Do you? What's the effect?
From the Voice to Skull or the microwave hearing effect? No, the microwave hearing effect will increase your brain tissue because it bypasses the ears and goes directly to the audible nerve. Okay, it goes right past your ear canal and go right into your brain. So as far as voice to skull goes, it doesn't really hurt, but what it's doing is it's increasing the physiologically, it's increasing the temperature of your brain, and it's also swelling the brain. Psychologically, what they could do is the idea, your ideas to torture somebody are limitless. Basically, you could bombard them with neuro linguistic programming. You could repeat the same things over and over in order to impart something you want to get through to them. Through inculcation means to repeat something over and over. There are a number of ways to torture somebody through voice to skull. There was an Air Force colonel, like Dr. Robert Duncan said in his book, if you could find a way to insert words and phrases into a person's head, I could find a way to talk them to their death. Over.
Very good. That's what we need, people to do their homework.
How's moral remote monitoring work?
What's that, sir? Excuse me?
Wait a minute.
You're just not coming through clearly, that's all.
My mic keeps going. It mutes back when I go to start to talk. Anyways, I said, how does remote neural monitoring get transmitted?
Not sure about that. There's a number of different methods by which it could be transmitted.
Frank, do you want me to explain this? Or you want someone else to?
Make it brief, okay? And
So, myoelectric signals from your throat, your muscles in your throat. OpenBCI has a project where they've proved this. It's open to the public.
That's true.
So it basically reads your thoughts using AI. It converts those myoelectric responses to basically like pulses that AI can understand. So that, and what I believe personally, I believe that there's a tonsil implant because there was one removed, and I feel like there's something stuck on the back of my throat. So I believe there's a tonsil implant that does remote neural monitoring, and I posted what I found on what I reverse engineered from the frequency that I found resonating on my head. I believe it's using Airport Force Patent US 647021 4B1, the FM modulated version on that patent. And I found that so normally the Frey effect, it like everybody should be able to hear it, and the way that they're able to target one person is that they're using a cone frequency that's split in half that does these RF pulses, and it's coming from two different directions, and I proved that it's coming from two directions. I have that on the site, and it completes the power envelope, so basically it has just enough power for it to work when it's on your body, and because it's coming from two directions, and when it completes the power envelope by either beamforming or resonating, it basically is the Frey effect.
Okay, I just wanted to interject that you probably know all about this, Josh. But the first time that was actually found, it wasn't even by Dr. Frey. It was found by one of his assistants, and he picked it up when he was behind a radar installation. I just wanted to put that in there, that's all, just to add.
I heard another story too. I think it's along those lines, and it's probably that same story, Frank, where they were. I think they sent a crew to go clean out some bird droppings off of the radar, and they forgot to turn off the radar. So the cleaning crew that was sent out there was hearing clicks coming from nowhere. So they attributed that to the radar clicks, and that was back in the 1940s, I believe. And I think it was that same story. And that's how they came across the Frey effect, cleaning off some bird poop.
Well, thank God for those birds. Thank you. That is correct. That's totally correct.
Michael Aquino used to love having clicks in his documentaries.
Okay, we've got over 40 people in here, and whoever wants to share, just grab the mic. It's that easy.
Hi, Frank. It's Kelly here. How are you?
Oh, very good. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I just wanted to remind everyone of the power of God and putting our faith and our trust in God. God is the most powerful being and the most powerful force around, and there is nothing greater than God. And when we put our faith and trust in Him, we bring about more great things into our life. Everything that these people are trying to do to us is backfiring against them. And God is turning everything around for our highest good. We may not understand exactly what that is at the moment, but if you put your 100% faith and trust in God, because God is the most powerful being in the universe and the most powerful force, that is where our power lies. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that. And as soon as you do that, when these people are attacking you, you just put your faith in God and just know that God is there for you and is working out for your highest good. I think that's just something, it's nice to be reminded of that and to keep it into practice as well. So God bless everybody.
Thank you. That was wonderful. That's something.
Hi, Kelly. I just wanted to say hi, Kelly, real quick. This is Tony Medina.
Hi, Tony. Thank you very much. I love you, hello. Appreciate it.
We're trying to form another call, so I hope to hear you on this.
It's Cheryl. I said it in the chat, but hey, Anthony.
Hi, Cheryl. Love you.
Anthony, who's going to be on the call?
I don't know yet. Cheryl. Let's see. Chi and Derek and Derek.
Well, how is Michael? Is he okay? If you don't mind me asking.
I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
I haven't
okay.
heard.
I reached out to him, but I didn't hear anything from him. So.
Me too.
Well, he's a good person. I hope he's okay.
Yes, I do too. I pray for him.
It was good to talk to you, Anthony. But yes, soon, hopefully.
Yeah, you love you too, girls. Bye.
Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Thank you very much. And if you have a new call coming up, make sure it goes to TI Events and make sure it goes to me so I can publicize it. Unless it's on Thursday night, then I'll be pissed.
Frank, this is Cheryl. I just want to say thank you a lot for doing your call and also extending it on Thursday. I think that's just very important for the community. So I'm just glad that you recognize the need there for the community and that you were able to extend the call for all of us. I know that I am very appreciative, even if it starts early or whatever time you decide to. Like I said, I just enjoy and thank you for having a lot of information, and then too, just hey, for us to be here with each other. I was recently in Boston and I thought about should I mention that? Should I not mention that? We had Target in Massachusetts, and I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to be on the call. And but anyway, I just appreciate again that you extended the time and that the information that you bring to the call. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really appreciate being here myself. And I thank God that I did this so that I could be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm sure a lot of us on this call are glad you're here too. Thank you.
Okay, this particular show is going uncut to YouTube, unedited. And I'd like to give you, if some of you don't have it, it's the listener line for TM Radio Broadcasting. It's 518-801-1318. You might have to, until I get to it, you might have to give it like 20 seconds for it to connect, either from the link or from the phone number. But there is a link as well. If you go to Targeted Massachusetts, it says the Allen Foundation. That is one of our links. And there's the TM microsite, there's the main, Mixcloud, and we have some European ones which actually aren't even on here yet. So, I'd like to hand it back to whoever would like to take the mic, because I need some coffee.
Hey Frank, I got one question for you. Was that the first time that you had Cheech on your call?
No, that's been a regular problem.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes on, and it started out, he came on our call, and he was halfway decent. And then he just fell apart all over the place and started his antics.
Okay. Because when I was on Derek's call, it seemed like he was just interrupting when I was trying to teach everyone. You know, I didn't know if like he just came on when I was trying to teach, or but I guess it's a ongoing problem.
Yes, it is. We've dealt with a lot worse in the past. A lot worse. But thank you so much.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Sheila. How you doing?
I'm doing. Is Linda still there?
Not sure. Oh, Dr. Linda? No, she had to leave. That's too bad.
Oh, I missed her because, well, I'm very lucky though. My nephew, son-in-law came over and changed the headlamps, the bulbs in the headlamps, and so that was a really, really good thing. So, but I missed Linda. I wanted to thank her and say how nice it was just to talk with her. It really helped lift me up as well. And I'm sure she lifts a lot of people up. I just wanted to tell her that's very, very good. So anyway, I'll have another time. I'll tell her.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll get somebody that's, it almost sounds like it's coming from here, but it's not. Well, free conference call can't pick it up. Hold on. I'll look around.
Muted.
Okay, I think I found it. Did anybody else hear that? It was pretty wild. It sounded like somebody was scraping up something. Hi, Tranquility. You want to say hi?
Are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm trying to get over a cold, but I'm doing okay. Um, can I make an announcement?
Yes, you surely can. Go right ahead.
Okay. Um, there's a new TI movie out. It's called Carousel, and it's written by a TI. His name is Jason Nancaro. He wrote it, he directed the movie, and he is a star in the movie. And it's on Tubi. You can watch it right now on Tubi for free. And on Sunday, DJ Chris and I will be having him on the Targeted West show for an interview. So if you guys can make it, we'd love to have you. Thanks.
That sounds great. Can you give me the information so that I can put that in the Sunday newsletter? Can you email it to me?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Trey.
It was a good movie. I've seen it already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I watched it on Tubi. It was good.
Do you know which one? You know what role Jason played?
No, that's what I was wondering.
He's Jake Keller, the reporter.
The reporter. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I kind of figured that. I thought he was the guru, the one that was saying the guru. I don't know if you remember the one that they were at the protests and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about other things. I thought it was him. But anyway.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's the reporter. I told him he did a really good job.
Oh yeah, I really liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
Very well
Thank
done.
you.
Okay. I really appreciate the video that TI Events has out. They scan the entire week and they announce every event that is going to take place during that week. And that's really fantastic.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Josh, I said thank you to Dee, too. As a matter of fact, I say thank you to everyone. So, Okay, we've got just under by 140 people here. We need somebody to grab the mic. I'm going to grab some coffee. I'll be right back. Thanks.
Hey, Anthony. I had been able to get in touch with T. Have you heard from her?
I haven't heard at all.
Me either.
Right. She did move into her new place, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good.
Or I knew it was supposed to be this week, but I haven't heard from her.
I did talk to Derek.
Good, yeah. You told me that Derek would. And so, I don't know. I guess we'll just wait another week, and if not, I don't know. Oh, and then I did tell you that Chris said yes, he would definitely join too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Good.
Yeah.
I have his phone number, so maybe I'll get in contact with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's it been over there in Arizona?
It's starting to get warm.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and right now we start to do things at night, and on Thursday night in Scottsdale they have where all the art studios are.
Right.
It's open so you can kind of walk through there and stroll through the studios and see the art. Just one day of the week, most of the studios are open. So I think I'm gonna go over there and walk over there and take a walk.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony, when is your new call going to start?
We don't know yet for sure.
Oh, okay. Is it going to be a late night call like Michael was doing, or?
Hopefully.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. T was gonna be involved in it, but we haven't heard from her.
Oh, okay. I see. And did you say Derek is going to be involved too, or?
Yeah, Derek, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's going to be really nice.
Yeah, I think we
I'm
want
looking forward to it.
Yeah, everybody on it.
Now, will it be every night, or?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty busy. I could certainly host a couple of nights full time, but I can't do it consistently.
Right,
I'd
I
be willing to do,
understand.
2 nights a week.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mhm.
Maybe we can have some volunteers that are used to being on Michael's and Anthony when he hosted. Maybe some of us from those calls can help volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, everybody.
I think I'll join in too. Well, that is if I have an invite.
You're welcome. Sure, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Yes, of course.
All right, yeah. I'll be watching, and I'll join in. Well, this will be on YouTube tomorrow, or I'm not doing any editing, so it might even be on there tonight. But yeah, it's going up quick because it's been a really good night, and everybody's been great, and everybody shared their opinions. They've had a chance to speak, and that's what makes it happen. If you're muted all night, it doesn't help anybody. That's the way I look at it. We still have some time until 11. It is 10:46. We're closing at 11. And we've been here since 6, and many of you have as well. So I need a break. Yeah, I work at everything else all day long. Fixing the websites, doing this, talking to the board members, talking to the project leaders. It's answering the phone. That's a job in itself right there. But I appreciate all you guys very much. And the mic is there. If you want it, just grab it. Oh, again, if you'd like to receive our newsletter, just go to targetedmassachusetts.org. On the home page, scroll down, you'll see a blue screen. Put your email in there and just hit submit, and you'll receive
it. Is there like a charter? Do you charter other states and like replicate what you do in your organization or your whatever, I don't know what to call it?
Well, the Allen Institute is a 501c3. Targeted Massachusetts is actually a sole proprietorship. But it will be another 501c3 shortly.
Now, 501c3, is that nonprofit?
Yeah, it's
Grant
non-profit.
money?
I can get grants. I haven't gotten any. And actually, President Trump shut grants off since January 20th.
Well, I tried to get a grant for terrorism, which is, the watch list. They have different grant funding that I have found, and they haven't had anything since 24, the last round of it, and they haven't opened it back up again. So I don't know.
Yeah, they'll be opening
But
that
you
up
have to have
shortly.
a EIN, and you have to have
Right?
some way for them to check. I can't remember. There's something else in the EIN, but that's not hard to get. But there was something else they needed to the entity, and I didn't know how to.
It's easy.
I didn't know how to claim
target
it.
individual.
Excuse me? There's a lady talking, ma'am. Yeah, you have.
I was just saying I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to
Hello,
create.
targeted individuals.
Hello.
Eaton, Georgia.
Sounds like a bot almost.
Yeah. I was just going to say.
Hello, scary.
That's Cheech, Frank.
Is this?
That is Cheech. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Boy, Cheech is like taking up all kinds of different forms lately, isn't he?
Yeah.
Whoa, Cheech.
Yeah.
Might as well say hello.
He's a Cheech. I don't know what else he is, but I can think of a few words.
I just didn't know what to. I was trying to get the grant money, and I had gotten an EIN to start a nonprofit business for TIs, but I didn't know how to set it up, like sole proprietor, LLC, 501. What you were just saying?
501c3. If you want to find out, just go to yourstate.gov, and they will tell you what you need to have in your state. There is also the federal part of it, which is the same, obviously, everywhere. And you need an attorney. If you use, I don't know, if you get a cheap attorney or legal aid, you'll be getting what you paid for. We went to one of the best lawyers in Boston, and we had it done, and it's very, 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 well, put it this way, it's wonderful, the things that we can do.
Okay, but did the attorney know you were a targeted individual?
Oh, yeah.
When it was okay, because see, Florida is really bad. They're super, super bad.
Stop
So
being a bitch, Frank.
Oh, here we go.
Come on, Frank. Stop being a bitch.
A little, that'll get you after a while, but,
You said Florida's bad? The targeting?
Yeah, it is.
Horrific.
Really?
Yeah, it is. It certainly is.
So what's going on over there that's happening?
Anything you can dream up? Well, you got Miramar. You got they've got targeted weapons. You drive through there, which is in the Panhandle, and they've got they have actual roads that tell you we are shooting weapons here. At these times, do not be driving on the roads because they're just out in the public with it. Miramar, Florida.
There's a naval base, I think, over there.
Quit being a bitch, Frank.
Why don't you take your own advice and get off the call?
Oh, he's gone. As a matter of fact, he's gone. RA 762-220-1037. We got you by accident. But we're leaving very shortly. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to close right now while everything is on a real good note because I don't like this guy. Thank you so much.
You're a bitch.
Gotcha. I got him. Okay, love you all, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you so much.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Good night.
All participants are on hold.